Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Has WoW gone more or less how I thought it would? Honestly, no. It has been enlightening. In a good way. And admittedly, a little bit in a bad.
Do you have a query?
I will admit I was not expecting a lot of WoW to go this way. Well, it's not just Legion. Only about 3 or 4 of the expansions actually went the way I thought they would. Do you mind? How is here? But also just, honestly, the best expansion previous to now, which is Pandaria, absolutely pales in comparison to Dragonflight. Like, it's not even on the same page, not even the same weight class. And I gotta admit, that's a little bit of an interesting thing to see.
I read about this.
I didn't think Opelcrag would be under attack. I'm sure Brent didn't either. Peacekeeper Hector will nae let me fight, but maybe she'll let you. I'll stay here and tend to the Earthen. Not a trick or two after being a Donegal, but Brent really needs us Opals.
Oh, are you headed out?
Speak and be heard.
I'm a city guard, not a soldier, but these people need our help. It did, Uthor. It did actually beat it. It wasn't even close. There are too many Nerubians for us to clear out. We can only keep this choke point and hope the miners make their way to us. That one was small, but you look like a fighter. Help us.
Return if you wish to speak again.
I mean, I had a random thought, and I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but I thought to myself, is Dragonflight better than all of FF14? And the answer I came up with was, yeah. Especially when we consider the stuff that Dragonflight didn't even get credit for. Like the talent system of the class overhauls. So yeah, that tracks. I don't think WoW itself will score particularly well, because, well, again, WoW is going to be dragged down. Oh yeah, no hesitation. Having said that, I did then think about it a little bit more, because it's me and I don't like to make snap judgments. But both the thought out and the snap judgment both agreed that, yeah, Dragonflight is better than FF14. And that makes sense. Yeah, WoW has BC and Shadowlands, and, well, it has issues. WoW is going to be dragged down quite a bit. Those abandonment negatives are not great. Its ratios are not great. Actually, yeah. Interestingly enough, the game, in fact, encourages you to the point of... Let me phrase that differently. The game discourages you from going anywhere other than Dragonflight. You can. There's nothing actually stopping you, but if you don't know what you're doing and you're just playing the game for the first time, then what you will do is you will do a tutorial area. And after you're done with the tutorial area, you will be sent to Dragonflight. First thing. And that is a good starting point. It is a good soft reset. And every plot point and every character beat that happens beforewards is something that's exposited surprisingly well throughout Dragonflight. That was one of the things that impressed me the most. As we were going through this time around, I was paying attention to how many times there was a little talkie option saying, hey, here's what you missed. Is it worth bothering with anything before Dragonflight? So, yeah, exactly, Maverick. The game guides you on the correct path, which is go to Dragonflight. You can do whatever you want. I would say it's a similar suggestion that I give most people in most franchises. If you're invested enough to want to see everything, then yeah, go do the old stuff. It's there, it's accessible. It's not great, and you're going to run through it at max level, because that's pretty much how that works. You can at least enjoy the story of it. But if you're don't have that pre-existing level of investment, I wouldn't recommend it personally. And yeah, if Dragonflight doesn't grab you, WoW is not for you. Retail WoW is not for you. Gotta clarify that. Now, it is worth noting, Classic is a different animal. It is functionally a different game. I've been making the distinction recently, and I've noticed nobody else does this. So I guess I can take credit for it. The idea is there's an MMO that's more focused on being a good game, and then there's an MMO that's focused on being a good experience. I personally distinguish these by calling the game thing the co-RPG, and the one that's supposed to be good experience the MMO, because most MMOs were, you know, good experiences, right? They were bad games. Let's just say that as bluntly as we possibly can. But that bad gameplay directly led to players kind of filling in the gaps, which led to new experiences, and there's an MMO for you. And that's vanilla in a nutshell. It is a bad game, and I stand by that encourages the players to interact with each other and coordinate with each other, and just generally change up the playstyle experience by virtue of how you're interacting with the players. Good morning, Star. I do hope your concert is going to go as smoothly as it should. Because if it doesn't... But yeah, due to the nature of how the game is designed, if you don't like Dragonflight, you don't like Retail WoW. Pretty much, period. If you like accidentally pulling a second mob of trash and being legitimately scared of dying from that, you might actually enjoy Vanilla. You enjoy hour-long cooldowns on Hearthstones. Let's see, what else? I actually have a list. Because this came up so often that I decided to just get a list here. Let's see. There's the double pull. Oh yeah, tagging. If you like having someone else steal your tag and therefore steal your kill on a quest mob. If you like constantly going back to town in order to dump all your money on training. If you like... if you like quests that take absolutely forever to go through because the drop rate is slow and killing is slow. Also, there's no quest design to speak of. Every quest is just kill something or loot something, and there's no variety, no design to any of it. I forgot about the speed. If you want to play the entire game at this pace right here, this exact pace, it's okay. At level 40, you probably don't have the money for a mount. A slow mount, which I can't even show you how slow it is because I don't have the ability to go that slowly. Like I said, WoW Vanilla is what I would call a worse game to have a better experience. It is an MMO. As Maverick points out, that's how most MMOs were, and in many cases several MMOs still are. Because there's an obvious appeal to that. There's an obvious audience for that. Star Trek Online. Act. You know, you're like the third person to ask me that, and I guess most people don't understand that MMOs continue to have content over time. So for those of you who don't know, MMOs usually continue to have more content over time.
Communication initiated.
So much to discuss.
Fire Opals, you found some. Oh, Brint will be so pleased. This Earthen seems to be feeling better as well. Win-win all round.
Sorry.
Now that we have the Opals, we can reach Brinth. She said she's a project she's working on. I know what it is.
I'll contemplate what we talked about.
Let's go find out. I like ties, although... I don't know. Sorry. I apologize, Oct. So, Star Trek Online is it's an MMO, obviously, but I don't want to call it a dead MMO, because that's not accurate. Someone in chat, I wish I remembered who, came up with this great descriptor. It's an undead MMO. It's still there, it's still lurching around, and it kind of has, like, the same general look of what it originally looked like. But it is, for all intents and purposes, dead. It's just still shambling around. Kind of like Tor, actually. So, what I committed to was there was a story arc that we hadn't done on camera last time we streamed it. And that story arc was like, all right, we'll put that into another category. We'll stream that whenever it's finished. It took until, like, a couple weeks ago, like, it's very, very recent, for that final quest arc to finally come out. That run has actually been funded for months and months at this point. Ugh. So that quest arc is finally out. I have committed to playing through that arc. At that point, I'm going to go ahead and finally uninstall the game, because STO is dead on the vine, right? Like 90% of the staff was fired, and they were sold out to a mobile developer. And the nicest, most positive possible news is it's going to be business as usual. And business as usual is not good, because STO was already doing really, really terrible in terms of content. And I specifically say that, content, because their process was actually really, really simple. Check this out, okay? So let's go up to... Okay, so it's January. There's a quest. A new quest comes out in January. Sweet. Okay. So then across the rest of the month, like say one, maybe two other little events happen. They're not new. It's just repeats of old events. Then in February, there's like a new box you can buy. And then there's a new event you can do to get a free ship here. There's an event you can do to get a free ship here. Then there's another new couple of repeat events from previous content. Then there's another new box you could buy. Then we've got this brand new bundle you could buy for only $150. You can get all these new ships. And then there's this one where you can get this shop. And then you get this one, you can buy this thing. And there's this one, you can buy this thing. Now we're in November. And in November, they're like, okay, we're working on the next content. And then in December, it's like, okay, we've decided to go ahead and release a preview of the next patch. And then we've got January again. We are now a full year since the last actual new content of the game. And in honor of the fact that there's this new quest finally coming out again, there's this Giganto bundle again, which is also $100. And then in February, 13 months later, the next quest drops. That's how STO has been for years at this point. And then they fired a huge portion of their staff and sold the company off to a mobile developer. So I've mentally walked away from STO. I've committed to that last stream, and that's it. Oh yeah, daily login rewards, which are a thing.
Need something to do?
So that's a vector quest.
You go wherever you please, don't you?
Sorry, positivity. Playing more within. I mean, it was sort of inevitable. I will admit, MMOs are actually expensive to maintain. More so than most games. But the thing is, the market is the problem, and I'm just going to say it that way. The amount of money that is demanded on top of the money that it actually costs to keep the developers going and to keep the people paid and to keep the MMO functional is rising. It's not staying static.
Ah, a new experience.
Another go-to. Games like WoW have to have, this stupid shop here in order to pay for all the crap that nobody cares about to make sure that a few fat people are slightly fatter. A game like STO has no chance. They had to go the route of just destroying the game in order to try and stay financially feasible. Good morning, Evo. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. 3, actually, Mr. Red.
Hello.
Okay, so...
Safe travels.
Yeah, no, STO got microtransactions. It's the most negatives for microtransactions I have given any game, by the way, to this day.
What path brought you here?
Okay, so these are actual quests that are here, not vector quests. Perfect. Yeah, keep in mind, I've reviewed Ubisoft games.
You need something?
Before Dalaran crashed, I was a preeminent expert on gems. And I lost it all. Gems, books, scrolls, like everyone else. Imagine my surprise when I learned a creature named Basaltius that possessed knowledge of gems stretching back before the Sundering. I want that knowledge. I will do anything for that knowledge. But the rock-skinned yokels here won't tell me anything about Basaltius. Can you get them to talk? Yeah, sure.
See you around.
Probably not, Evo. Why do you ask? Do you think I should? You hate me horribly. Those are the only options. It's either, am I stupid, or do you hate me? Those are the defaults. Yeah, did you notice that there was an MSQ that came to this giant bundle of quests? And this giant bundle of quests also has several vector quests to other bundles of quests? Listen, Swiftjud, he's busy, okay? He's off saving the universe from... Oh, it doesn't even matter what, really. So what do you know about Basaltius? Another Outlander asking the same question. Curious. You are not here on his behalf, are you? I told her she is treading into thick mud trying to find Basaltius. I value both of your continued functioning too much to tell you of how to find him. You can ask Kuran, but he will tell you the same. Perhaps he will persuade you against seeking him if I cannot. He's getting all his boots back. He met this delightful young Compassaurus and...
Tell me what drives you.
This is the second time someone has asked about Basaltius today. What would someone want with that creature? I will tell you what I told her when she asked me for information. No. Don't look at me like that. Alright, I will tell you where it is, but that is all. You will need to know how to summon it to see it. There is a cave southwest of here. No more questions. Besides, I don't think anyone else knows of it.
Our lives
Besides Malik.
are our own.
And honestly, I wasn't impressed with Unity to begin with, so... Ironically, we're actually at a pretty good place in MMOs. If you want the older MMO experience, there's old school RuneScape and WoW Vanilla and games like Black Desert Online. That's more PvP focused, but it is still an old MMO style. If you want something more modern-y, like co-RPG style, You've got things like Lotro, you've got FF14, you've got Retail WoW, you've got ESO, and you've got Guild Wars 2. It is a weirdly good time for MMOs, probably because so much of the crap has been filtered out by this point, including amongst the games that are still going. Every MMO needs an asterisk for recommending it, though. All of them. Are all Outlanders so persistent? You are the second to interrupt my tasks. I should not tell you anything, but it will keep you out of my wires. I heard Basaltius can be lured by violating the elemental balance around the den. There are 4 standing stones that act as seals. I will say no more than that. But may your path never lead where it treads. Turn back and do not execute your endeavors to find it. Kind of, Iago. In an alternate universe, Guild Wars 2 might have been sacrificed for STO to work out. But here we are. Even the more modern co-RPGs still demand a bit of time. Does she just has like a gem examiner thing on her face. Oh my gosh.
Good day to you.
You got them to talk? Amazing. That's more information I thought they had.
See you later.
So, I can picture it now. Once I have Basaltius' knowledge, I'll have nobles and merchants lined up at my house. No, my mansion! The Earthen did say southwest, right? I'll find the cave and meet you there. Quickly now.
Have a good one.
I predict this is a good idea. I do too, Uthor. You'll notice I'm doing it without doing any other quests alongside it. We're just focusing on this chain for right now.
How are you?
What took you so long? Those raging elementals could have killed me. I mean, luckily they didn't see me, but you could have gotten here a bit faster. Let me know when you're ready to enter the cave.
See you later.
Look at this place. Are these standing stones? Is she?
Hey there.
Look at the walls. Look at the gems. I can't believe it. This story must be real. I'm going to be so rich and influential and powerful. I need to sit down for a moment, catch my breath.
Have a good one.
According to the Earthen, we have to lure the spirit or disturb it or something. The 4 stones they mention have depleted elemental cores. They're igneous elements outside. You thinking what I'm thinking? Get a few cores. Just a few. We're so close, we might as well try.
Safe travels.
Okay, sure. Yes, Kraken's on. I think. Okay. Elemental Core is God. This is a great idea. Yeah, 3 separate Earthen are like, don't do this. And she's like, it's going to be great.
How are you? See you around. Safe travels.
I'm so close I can feel it in my bones. Place the cores next to each standing stone. Time to summon Basaltius.
Have a good one.
A king of old blinded by pride. He thought he could rule more than just his mortal subjects. Do you hear that? It must be Basaltius. We got his attention. The curse of never-ending desire brings mortals and creators alike to their knees. Haven't you heard? Greed is good, you old grouch. Keep going. The self-consumed love for one's appearance hides the inner gem from sight. What does it even mean? Coveting others' natural talents leads to stagnancy and self-ruin. I didn't come here to lecture. I just want... Quick, subdue it! I do not wish to fight you, mortal. I am here to grant you your heart's desire. What, really? That's easier than I thought.
Hey there.
That was almost effortless. For me, anyway. Can you imagine what I could do with this knowledge? Can you imagine my name spoken in Stormwind, Kilneas, maybe even Orgrimmar? I'll be able to do and achieve everything I wanted. Everyone will finally look up to me. I'll have all the gold for all I can find and create.
See you around.
I am ready, creature. Give me your knowledge. As you wish. Let's... To know the gem, one must learn humility, patience, and nurturing, like the high mountains and deep caves that harbor gems. You will remain in this form for many eons until your inner silent screams cease and the calmness of your mind guides your heart to the task. Only after thousands of years of this stillness will you learn the truth of the perfect gem as I do. You will wait patiently, like the others before you. So, yeah, now there's 5 stones in here. Remember the stories he was mentioning? King of old thought he could rule more than mortal subjects. Yeah, that's them. And now there's another one here. Its carving fresh and deep, this standing stone depicts a human woman. Her hand is outstretched as if trying to command Basaltius. Beside her is another figure resembling you. Yep. And my favorite part is that is clearly a pretty horrible fate. And I quote, "You will remain in this form for many eons until your inner silent screams cease." In other words, she's aware of the passage of time in there. Don't worry, she'll be preserved for as long as it takes. Cool. She might be. You don't know. She might be better when she gets out. Possible. My breakfast is cooled off yet. That's actually pretty classically Faustian, yeah. Oops. Let me jot down a couple things really quick. I got a question for y'all. So I like to gauge how good zones are compared to other zones. It's just interesting to me. And it's been fascinating watching the progression and degression of the zones over the course of the series. when do you think Casalgur, this zone right here, the Isle of Dorn, starts? Because, like, do we start it with the Dalaran stuff? Do we start it when Dalaran crashes? Do we start it after we get out of the city? All three of those are viable start points for the zone. What do you think? Statistically speaking, Mr. Red, yes. I barely even started at Evo. I think I agree. So that's true. Look at this. Oh, 100% is Maristar. It's even true game-wise. We see the path to the second zone the moment we reach Dornagal. And if you remember, the moment we enter the second zone, the path to the third zone is right next to us. There's always that kind of guiding carrot thing. It's a very single-player RPG. In terms of its flow, it's like this. The third zone doesn't follow that pattern. The third zone mixes it up quite a bit. Probably because the fourth zone, which I continue to not name, is supposed to be kind of a surprise. Which is funny, because it's really easy to just pull up the map and be like, aha! But no.
Tell me, what drives you?
Like I was saying earlier, Xavion, WoW is arguably not an MMO. It is it's the other type of MMO. It's the co-RPG. My term. I was supposed to see Kodun earlier, but I'm as petrified as unliving stone. The attack on the village was paralyzing. She takes a deep breath and focuses on the shape of another jar. Could you do me a favor and deliver those jars to Kodun? He's a stone's throw away in the village pottery shop. I must finish this piece before the clay dries.
Our lives are our own.
Sure. I tried making something new, but as you can see, maybe this one will be different. Tree! Oh, God! Oh, God! Ah! Hey. Wow. I really got stuck in that one. So, I've got some pottery for you. You met Hreka, then. She has avoided coming into town. I grow worried. Something happened recently, but nothing we can do about it. Perfectly rounded, no cracks, smooth lip. Hreka's done it again. She's our best crafter in town. Several suns ago, my friend Modena ventured into the quarry cave. She wanted to find a rare ore for Hreka to help her craftsmanship. Modena was excited, I remember. A rare feeling for Earthen. She hasn't returned. The Fungarians prevent us from searching the area. It will mean a great deal to us if you look for her. I didn't know it was possible to spend so much of the day thinking about what-ifs. The local quarry was an active source of clay and ore for us until the Fungarians took over it some time ago. We were worried about the Fungarians encroaching upon the village, but there's something more. Multiple sightings of a creature larger than our native wildlife have been reported at night. Combined with villager Modena's disappearance, I fear this is no coincidence. She has visited the quarry recently and has not returned. We would be in your debt if you searched the tunnels. No tree can beat me. Oh my god. I actually went through it. Abandoned in the dim, candlelit chamber, the parchment, wrinkled and worn, bears the traces of hastily scribbled research notes. Log entry 235-18-7. Date, fabrication, quarter cycle. Observation. Fungarians exhibit accelerated growth and increased territorial aggression. Spore dispersal seems to have quadrupled compared to previous recorded rates. Yeah, so here's our Jarden for the expansion. Fungarians! I'm not really kidding. That's what they look like. No, I'm not joking. They are creeps. Their only purpose in existing is to be an enemy for you to fight against. They are the Jardins. Notation. Fungarian demonstrate aggressive mycorrhizal interactions, outcompeting nearby fungal species. The accelerated growth raises concerns about potential ecological imbalance in affected areas. Observation. Fungarians now spreading beyond initial study site. Aggressive mycelial intrusion observed in unexpected habitats. Urgent investigation needed to assess broader ecological impact of newfound behavior. Evacuation recommended and research activities temporarily halted for the safety of all involved. Yeah, I just said that. They're Jardins, is Mirstar. Hi, Zach Taft. Yeah, imagine if the Zanger was cute and pathetic, and that's the Fungarians. Like, right now they're losing a battle against goats. That's all I have to say about that. Oh, for God's sakes. Go away. Hello, Trihex. That's a good question, is Veristar. I kind of hope so. They had a pretty hard life. You guys, like, leave me alone for, like, 5 seconds, please. 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 If I'm gonna go prot, I'll do it, I swear. Your guess is as good as mine, Kraken-san, considering, you know, Outland is the next best thing to completely abandon at this point. We know they're building a Shatrith too, that's about all we got. Oh, Jesus. Okay, yep, we're going Brot then. Alright. Oh, you meant back in the day. Yeah, so the Sporogar Sporelings were pretty much constantly on the back foot from everything else in the Zanger, including the Zanger itself. They were cute, friendly, they traded. You know, yeah, they were Fungarians if the Fungarians were more benevolently inclined. Wait, they weren't crazy? Zactaft? Either way, when you say Thursday this month, there's 2 possible Thursdays that would apply to. So I hope it's this Thursday, not next Thursday. So you can get through that. So, Prot gets access to something called Lightsmith. Interesting. Yeah, like the first... so the top talent of any given hero talent is a pretty good indicator of what that tree is going to be like. It's also almost always your big button, right? Let's try Lightsmith for now. I don't even have the frickin' Eye of Tyr ability for that. Wow, straight up buffs. I think we'll go with... symbol of that. wait, where's... Okay. Ah, so it does. Okay, that makes more sense. So you know how I just died to like 5 things? Yeah, so this is prod, by contrast. My health isn't moving. My health is literally at 100% and I have a bubble up. It doesn't take that much longer to kill. Not really. Tag it? I got it, dude. I'm sharing. You need it? Yeah, Prot Warrior's also kind of in a good place right now, which is nice. So anyways, this is a bit of a gross warning, so forgive me. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Okay, so there's Modena. She's an Earthen, and she has fungi growing out of her. Chunks of stone are missing from the earthen body, and all that remains is streaked with mud. Tiny pale mushrooms sprout densely all over the corpse. Large, bulbous growths protrude from her mouth and ears. A broken memory gem sits crushed in the body. Yeah, I'll take the sporelings, thanks. Yeah, as usual, fungi continue to be horrific in everything that they're in, including real life. Yes, they're so delicious, Evo. Thank you for sharing the mushrooms with me. We should share the mushrooms with other people as well, so that everyone can experience the mushroom. There's a type of spore creature, I don't actually remember what they're called, in the Underdark in Forgotten Realms. As long as you are currently actively breathing their spores and have been within like the last 5 minutes, you are psychically linked to everyone else who has also been breathing those spores. It's very helpful, but can also be very terrifying. I don't remember what they're called. We had one in our party last time we were doing that. Yes, I can read your mind, Uthor. It says, Enterprise is terrible. Alright, until Season 4. Stonestalker. Here? Their habitat resides far beneath the Isle's surface. All the recent change must be disturbing them. Regardless, thank you for slaying it. They are highly territorial and kill for sport. As for the tunnels, the area sounds beyond recovery. We'll have to let nature recover it. You've returned. Did you find Modena? What is it you're carrying? Modina's... Oh, no. Khotun, I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier. Hordrunner was kind enough to... Whoa. What's going on?
Our forged paths intertwine.
She looks through the things you retrieved one by one. So, you risked your life to find our friend. Modena is gone, then. Her notes are about the rare ore in the cave. Melted down, it becomes a beautiful glaze for pottery. What can I do? I'm no fighter. I can't avenge her. Besides, her body has already been reclaimed by the Earth. That much is certain by the state of her memory gem fragment. What can I do now but make a pot? Will you help me?
Returning to task. Goodbye.
While I smelt this, will you try the molding the ball of clay on the table? Don't overthink it. Go with the flow. Trust your hands. The ore is now melted into a glaze. I will apply it. Keep doing what you are doing. There. Now place it in the forge.
Ah, a new experience.
Let's see. Wobbly edges. Asymmetrical oblong body. Glaze looks too dry. It will crack. I need more practice smelting this new ore. Rekka. Thank you, Hordrunner. I have not felt this depth of gratitude before. I will return to new pottery. We will not let Modena's efforts be in vain. Yeah, by the way, the name of that quest was Hope and Anomaly. Did you catch that when she was freaked out over the death of her friend, all she could think to do was make pottery because it's all she knows? One of the reasons I think War Within succeeds so well is because it finally had the audacity to have quiet storytelling. Yeah. Loss, trauma, and mental health. And how we deal with all of those things. That's War Within in a nutshell. Like, they didn't even overemphasize the quest I just did. If she was a human, or even a dwarf, she might have been like, ah, my friend. You know, grief, tears, struggle. She didn't because she's an Earthen. She doesn't process that like we do. But it's still wonderfully relatable, the way she does it.
The corway must be protected.
The Earthen who live outside Dornogal are ill-equipped to deal with hostile threats. They are workers and artisans, miners and farmers, not soldiers. I was once commander of the Peacekeepers in Dornogal. The Peacekeepers are not as well versed in warfare as the Storm Riders, but we are still trained and armed to protect citizens of the city. While the Oathsworn are well protected behind the walls of Dornogal, the Unbound were left to fend for themselves against Gorloks and Fungarians and Kobolds, even Nerubians. Over time, I realized that in order to carry out my charge of protecting the Earthen, I would have to leave the city. Since then, I have journeyed across the Isle of Dorn, helping any and all Earthen I come across. Such is my way.
May the Titans carve your path.
Gorlock raiders have been slaughtering these farmers and stealing their pearls. They seek our protection, but we may not be enough. I know of others nearby who can help. Seek them out and request their aid. If they are hesitant, offer them pearls as payment. We'll also need to arm these farmers. Search for spare weapons and equipment.
May Rook nor Ram take you far.
Fear not, we will help you. While my friends gather more weapons and warriors, I will teach you how to fight. Take me to the others. You know, I like this suit, but I think I'm going to change my mind on it. Just while we're here, just for a bit. I'm getting upgrades right now anyways, so...
Smell.
It'll go away in a minute. I'm just going to do that. Oh, I don't know.
May your feet find good trail.
Classic Judgment. By which I mean modern take on Classic Judgment, which looks better than Classic Judgment in every way. Look, I'm sorry, it's the Skybox argument all over again. That is a better Skybox than vanilla, I'm sorry.
Speak freely. No directive needed.
A pearl would be perfect. I'm sure she'll love it. He was looking through the gems in order to try and find a gift for someone. Yeah, I'm gonna have to set up a holy spec soon. The Unbound aren't fighters. Those weapons have sat there for a long time. What's a long time to an Earthen? That doesn't work either.
Begin speaking.
What do you want? I'm experimenting with various substances that might assist me in work in the ringing deeps. Hoping to find something on the surface that would help.
Stay productive.
Oh, pearls. That might work. Yes, I will assist you. By the way, I don't want to point this out, but this quest is about paying the local workers in order to form a militia. I love the simplicity of it. I do. Shame what happened to those farmers. I hope the weapons can help. Why do you have farmers? I don't think this qualifies as underground. I don't know. Let me look at the sun up there in the sky. Oh god, the sun, the sun, the sun, the sun. Ah, sorry. What was I doing? Okay, I'm okay. A way to teach farmers to fight. Good luck with that. What do you think of, don't you think about the legacy you leave behind? Not me. I'm going to live forever.
Welcome, Outlander.
Each of us will inevitably shut down one way or the other. What matters is what we leave behind after. For me, I'm compiling a collection of interesting items to whoever comes after me.
May your choices return you here.
All this doom and gloom about Earthen shutting down. Not me. I'll find a way to stay operating if it's the last thing I do. Which I guess it would be if I can't figure something out.
May your choices return you here.
Genius. I'm sure eating pearls will keep me from shutting down. Okay. I am PPY.
Communication in... sorry. Hello?
If all things will end, what's the point of today? Why should I take any action at all? Ouch.
May all paths be open to you.
pearl. Why are they valued so? Perhaps I should find out. The third zone is very carefully designed to not look underground. Like, the amount of visual artistry there is kind of crazy. It is 100% underground, but it really isn't designed to look it. It's fascinating. We'll talk about it when we get there. Hopefully soon. This is all? Why so few? We needed an army.
What is your command?
Good work. I'm glad you were able to recruit some farmers. And by farmers, I mean fighters. They both start with F. It's very easy to get them confused. It's worse than I expected, and we will need everyone we have.
Faith. Order. We must remember both.
The pearls these farmers harvest are the only source of livelihood. Some of these Earthen even look at pearl farming as their primary reason for existing. The Gorloks continue to pilfer pearls at every opportunity. As you eliminate them, search for stolen pearls. Let us recover as many as we can.
We will continue speaking later.
Most of the farmers are already out in the field defending their positions. I have trained them as best I could given the circumstances, but they're still wielding farming tools. I need you to distribute the weapons you gather to the front lines. While it may not be markedly improving their combat ability, at least it will improve their confidence that they are not alone in this fight.
The Titans will return. Be ready.
We do now. There are so many Gorloks. It's all over. We can't win. Steady now. Trust in your training and in each other. Jeez, Kennex Cow. I think Internet just hates me. It's okay. I'm used to it. You just want to eat the pearls to live as long as you can. That's right. Why would you just give yours away if it can extend your lifespan? The end is coming sooner or later. Well, if it comes to that, I'd rather give her the pearls to extend her life. Not mine. That's the gentleman who is looking for a gift for his bow. And the guy who's trying to live forever, talking to each other. You guys want to assist me here? It's just... Like, I know you don't do a lot of deeps, but come on, you can speed it up at least. No, it's fine. I'll solo the entire army by myself. It's okay, I'm a Protestant. I got this. Why farm pearls at all? Soon there'll be no one left to enjoy them. We do not value the pearls as much as the process. In farming, we work together and spend time with each other towards a common goal. It is our enjoyment and enrichment of today we value, not tomorrow. You thought I was joking. Like, every quest is going to be like this, so I hope you're buckled in. Although, by memory, they really hit it hardest here in the first zone. Because the Earthen have had a long time to very slowly develop. Honestly, despite everything, they're still kind of at the baby stages of being a new species. Which is funny, because they're older than most of the other species around here. It's true, though. they have been so isolated and so absent experiences that while droid effect has been happening, it's been happening incredibly slowly. And it hasn't been happening equally either. I'm collecting items I enjoy so I can leave something of myself when I am gone. Perhaps one day someone else will find and treasure them. In this way I can live on. Preposterous. All our efforts must be focused on restoring the machines that sustain us. Anything else is wasted effort. Remember to be careful about spoilers. Sorry, typing down some notes. If you're talking about War Within, I have played through the launched MSQ already. So nothing we'll be doing for the purposes of this stream will be new to me. I have not gone past that. So Siren Isles, Undermine, that's all completely new to me. Also, we just got a bonus objective without trying to. Once again, proving that the problem with Legion's bonus objective was just the specific design of them. Don't worry, Midnight will all be about like some giant death doom that's here to destroy the entire world. We'll call him Breathwing. He shows up, he's like, "Pitiful mortal." And that's actually the only dialogue he says the entire game. That one line. That's it. Are we winning? Of course we are.
Do you have a query?
We need to return these pearls to these farmers.
Resuming
Thank
cycle.
you. Eliminating the Gorlock threat was just one of our objectives here. Giving the farmers their lives back is another.
The Titans will return.
Excellent.
ready.
As long as they fight together and for each other, we believe we will be victorious.
Faith. Order.
It seems the Gorlocks have been bolstering their forces with summoned elementals. That explains how they were able to overrun the farms so easily. It will take all of our strength to hold off the Colossi already in the field. I need you to stop any new elementals from being created. Elementals of this size and power can only be created by the most powerful of their shamans. Seek them out behind enemy lines and eliminate them. This should end the Gorlock threat to the farmers once and for all.
May the Titans carve your
With me,
path.
my friends, I ask you to follow me one last time. Once more into battle. Morning, Bossy, Professy. I mean, all the classes suck, MPPY. Completely unrelated, I've given about 200 positives to class design in War Within. Give or take. don't actually know the exact number. It is a bunch. I'm not being facetious in that part. Gosh, I would have to actually think about which classes I don't enjoy in World of Let's see. Rogue, obvious. Although, actually, that's not true. Both Assassin and Subtlety are in a pretty good space. So, okay, never mind. I take that back. Nope, they're all good. Alright, I got nothing, sorry. I have failed. Yeah, just take that real quick. No, I know you're not in people. I'm mostly just being facetious. I think people are being fun. It is admittedly kind of alien to me to hear someone speak negatively of class design now, when it's the best it's ever been. But I do understand completely the idea of just not enjoying something. If I can use a specific example. Over in Guild Wars 2, my best class by far is a thief, I think it is. It's the rogue wannabe. And the rogue wannabe has a rifle spec. That rifle spec is objectively the best class, best spec, and the most output I can do. It is absolutely ludicrously insane damage with incredible sustain. I find it immeasurably boring. I hate to play that class, and I only pull it out whenever I actually have to, for like a boss or if a friend needs help or something like that. So I get it. We're nowhere, Greywolf. We just started the Isle of Dorn. Why does this guy have 1,000,000 health? Yeah, I forget if it's Subtlety or Assassin, but one of them just gets Slice and Dice for doing one of their other spenders. And it's like, yeah, that feels a lot better. Oh my god, I am like... Yeah, I'm about... 100 plus item level lower than what I should be on my Paradin right now. Which is why this is taking so long. I'm working on it, I'm working on it. So much innate AoE. I've just been focus firing the boss this entire time, and I just killed the last trash before I killed him, just with latent AoE. Paladins, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I was just thinking about it. I obviously have no idea the quality or even specifics of Undermine. But going straight from the launch content into, you know, which is very quiet, somber, into Undermined, which is probably going to be as bombastic as possible, is a very interesting choice. And if they pull it off correctly, then they did the right thing. You want that contrast, right? You want that variance there to help with the narrative pacing. If that follows true, then the patch after that will probably either go right back down to quiet or escalate into epic. One of the two. That's all on my friends, Mr. Red. Ironically, I have no choice about when I experience Undermined content. There's so many other things in my life. Oh, okay, they're dead. Holy moly. So... yeah, she's dead. The woman who started this quest chain. The soldier woman who unified all these people. She is dead.
Communication in... sorry. Hello.
Thank you for your aid, Outlander. Without you, none of this would have been possible. You have given us our livelihood today and our hope. Take this as a small token of our gratitude. It is not enough, but it is all we can offer. Know that you will always be welcome in our people. We must now turn our attention to Agartha.
May all paths be open to you.
When we had no one to turn to, Agartha chose to help us. Not out of reward or obligation, but simply a sense of duty to Earthen. As we fought the Colossi, these Gorloks attempted to flank us. With no one available, Agartha split off alone to intercept them. Though vastly outnumbered, Agartha held the line and defeated these foes before you. Her injuries were too grave, and she succumbed to her wounds. Even in death, she has refused to fall. Agartha has made an impact on all of us, and she will live on in our minds and memories. She will be remembered. Jesus, game. Yeah, the Isle of Dorn kind of comes out swinging. They don't mention her crystal, so I'm going to assume it was shattered in the attack. Yeah, did you notice her death pose is on her feet? As we've actually already talked about during the Earthen unlock chain, most Earthen have the unique perspective of being able to choose their pose as they die. Yeah.
What path brought you here?
Don't get me wrong, I'm still planning to live forever. But Agartha showed me it has to be a life worth living. I'll have to work on that.
Returning to task.
I have been building a collection of items I enjoy, so that when I am gone, I can live on through my collection. But perhaps there is a better way. I've decided to give away the items in my collection to the people who will value them most. I will not try to live on through trinkets and items. I will live on in the memories of my friends and the happiness I share with them.
Let's commit our meeting to memory.
The Gorloks have been beaten back for now, but clearly they are a greater danger than any of us realized. Agartha may be gone, but her legacy lives on. We pearl farmers now have weapons and training to defend ourselves from further attacks. It is our responsibility to carry forward her spirit of courage, generosity, and perseverance. Such was her way, and is now our way as well.
Let's commit our meeting to memory.
I've been searching for the perfect gift for my dear friend. What I've learned is the gift itself is unimportant. She will love whatever gift I give her because she cares about me. And in the end, the greatest gift we can give each other is our presence in each other's lives.
Journey far and safe.
The farmers have agreed to furnish me with the pearls I should need for my experiments. I still believe we should focus our efforts on restoring the machine so our race has a future. However, since that outcome is not guaranteed, perhaps we can allow for some time to enjoy the present while we still have it.
Raise the machine.
I came here to find out why pearls are so valued, but instead I found out why life is so valued. All things end. Given infinite time, this is inevitable. The focus must be on the journey and not the destination. This moment of my life is priceless, because once experienced it will never come again. And we do not know when the journey will end. Simply put, the purpose of life is to live.
Journey far.
Oh, and by the way, did you catch how everything I just read out loud was completely optional? They're not quite sawals, but they're like one step away from that. This has been recurrent, by the way. There's a lot of these. I'm going to call this background lore. Because there's just a whole lot of extra lore that you can just see if you feel like it. Extra dialogue, extra cutscenes. believe... Hang on. Yep, that's actually everything in Freywald. Came out of the gate running here. Let's go ahead and follow some of these branches first. Got a little bit of that flower design again. Oh, no, further ahead, further ahead. So this quest name is All or Nothing. Or Nothing. Oh, Art. Outlander, your aid is requested. The Earthen have said you would be of help. Our fellow Earthen at Opal Crag have not reported their quota for the last day. There must be something causing a disruption. Will you pay the foreman a visit?
We all have our tasks.
I'm hiding, laying low. Jermira sent you? She must be worried we haven't sent our quota.
I'm still working.
I got cut off from the rest of the crew. We did not expect to be attacked by Nerubians, though I can't imagine the rest quitting. Our duty is too important to give up just yet. Barging right into the mine could cause the Nerubians to frenzy and hurt the others, so I found a third way. Though undetected, will still be tough. Follow me.
Watch your step.
Okay. I mean, I can't imagine any other MMO will be this long. Speaking of which, someone actually asked earlier how long FF14 was in comparison to this. And the answer to that question is loading. So, the FF14 runs to date were 602 hours long. Not counting War Within. At the moment, we are at 700 hours in WoW. Wow, which... That's actually really funny. That is not that much longer than FF14. I mean, 100 hours is nothing to sneeze at, but like 600 to 700 is not a big jump.
Have you met your quota?
You have made it undetected. Good. Time to surprise the Nerubians.
Stay productive.
A long way down to be sure, but I am certain you can make it. If you doubt yourself, I made some parachutes.
Keep me informed.
It's okay, I'm a paladin. Woo! But yeah, like, I don't know. I shouldn't open my gob because I'm probably going to be wrong. But I can't imagine Guild Wars 2 is going to be this long. I don't know. We're going to push that off a little bit, obviously.
Do you intend to idle all day?
So Foreman Alvagar sent you. That explains it. The situation is not great. This place is crawling with Nerubians, and they're showing us no mercy. They forced us to mine and took our hard-earned opals. When you disobey, they web you up. I was barely able to escape when they came in. The others, well, that's where you come in. With you distracting them, I can rally the webbed Earthen.
Back to work.
I'll be direct with you. We have a goal here, and those opals are at the center of it. No one will leave until we get the job done. The opals are too important. We can gather enough ore, we could convince them to leave, but be careful. The Nerubians are dangerous.
If that is all...
I've been thinking about the Guild Wars 2 run, and I think for the sake of sanity, both yours and mine, what I might end up doing is, rather than doing, for example, all the hearts in vanilla, which was, or all the hearts in general, we'll be like, here's another heart, and then just give it a negative and then move on. And just give every heart in the game a negative. That might be a simpler and easier way to deal with that problem. Probably not super accurate, but a lot less time consuming. We can also poke our head at one. So, in my opinion, heart quests are terribly designed. They do a thing where it's like, hey, you can do nearby stuff in order to progress the heart. Cool. But they decided somewhere along the line that because you can do anything to progress the quest, you get very, very little progress on the heart for doing it. That is less cool. And so every single heart, all of them, end up being grindy. Regardless of grind, though, they're padding. They're boring. The number of heart quests I've enjoyed is actually very easy to enumerate, because it's 0. Now, there might be some story positives with some of the hearts. That's a little bit more debatable. But on the gameplay axis, nah, they all suck. What's the point of them? So, in vanilla, that was your content. That was it. That was meat content. For those of you who don't understand what we're talking about, try to imagine if in FF14 there were no quests and there were no dungeons, asterisk, there was just fates, and that was the whole game. Now, as Guild Wars 2 progressed and moved past vanilla, they quickly realized how terrible of an idea that was. And they started really focusing on the MSQ instead. That was a good move, in my opinion, and it seems to have worked out pretty well for them. It's easy to forget that the vanilla MSQ was barely there at all. So, the way it worked was you'd start up your character and it's like, alright, go do this big awesome thing. Okay, I've beaten this giant earth elemental. Whew, okay. Now go do hearts for 5 levels. Because the next actual MSQ, you didn't unlock until you were level 5. That took longer than it probably should have. And then you'd get another MSQ quest, which was basically just a cutscene of, hey, here's a new thing to do. And it's like, okay. And then you'd have to go hit level 10. And each of these gaps took longer and longer to get through, to the point where, speaking personally, if you played Guild Wars 2 at launch, it was legitimately hard to keep track of what was going on, because the gaps between quests were getting bigger and bigger each time you did another one. So yeah, hearts, let's see, it was hearts, events, vistas, points of interest, I believe is the full list. That was what you were supposed to do. Now, to be honest, I did mention earlier there was an asterisk around dungeons. There were dungeons in vanilla, and only in vanilla. They quickly got rid of them, because they were a terrible idea. You're probably thinking, but why is a dungeon a terrible idea? Well, I do firmly believe that Guild Wars 2 could have made its dungeons work. Especially since they have, in more recent years, made raids and the... I forget what they're called. The delve things. They're not dungeons, but they're like another thing. Ooh, that was strange. Okay, I just lost internet for a second. Yeah, we're already back. That was a weird blip. I saw it in WoW, too, so it's probably my actual internet. I'll wait till everyone's refreshed before I finish my sentence. That really was just a strange blip there. Anyways, so there were dungeons in Guild Wars 2 vanilla. And they sucked! Because they didn't... Because there were no tanks and there were no healers. Now, again, I firmly believe you can make dungeon design work with no tanks and no healers. After all, Guild Wars 2 has done that, like I just mentioned, and there are plenty of other games that manage this as well, including the one we're playing right now. But they didn't do that. They made plain, basic-ass dungeons, as in tank, healer, DPS dungeons, in a game that didn't have tanks or healers. So the vanilla dungeons were kind of trash. They were also very, very sloggy. Way too much trash, as in actual trash enemies. And they took way too long to kill. The whole thing was just awful. I hated those dungeons. And the best part is, because you're level locked at 50 when you do them, well... No, is the answer to that question, Bragwin. Guild Wars 2 is like WoW, where you could just skip BC if you wanted to. I recommend that to anybody picking up Guild Wars 2. You will miss effectively no story. I can summarize the story of vanilla Guild Wars 2 in one sentence. That's not a joke. There's an ancient dragon of undeath who you defeat. The end.
Outsiders detected.
Why are these opals worth risking your life? Outlander, have you seen the state of our isle? Have you seen the state of our society? There is a dysfunction. These opals have the potential of renewing crucial technology that can change us. There's a chance to fix our society. Every one of us is willing to lay down our existence.
Stay productive.
But why do they want the opals from you? Only the Titans know. The Nerubians showed up a few cycles after we arrived. They were vicious, killing and imprisoning those that did not listen to them. So we did what we Earthen know. We fell in line.
I'm still working. Are you leaving? You go wherever you please, don't you?
A sentimental moment. Some have started to evacuate, but there's a stubborn few that won't let go. Could you say something? Maybe an outsider's perspective will get them moving.
Back to work.
Guild Wars 1 has a lot more going for it. In vanilla.
Praise
Even in
the
vanilla.
machine. Back to work.
Get out of here, get out of here.
Strike while the iron's hot. Do you need something?
Sorry, I don't mean to bash Guild Wars 2 vanilla so hard, but it's probably the worst of the vanillas out
Is
there.
there a problem?
You know what I mean, right? Almost every MMO has a bad vanilla, because most MMOs vanillas were 20 years ago. But Guild Wars 2's is just terrible. Disinteresting story. There's like a side arc of characters, which is essentially optional content, which is hard even to procure. The dungeons suck. 1.0 isn't vanilla. 1.0 is an abomination. The dungeons suck. The questing experience sucks. The class design wasn't very good. It's in a lot better place now, so you don't have to worry about that. The whole thing was miserable. There's a reason I put Guild Wars 2 down, and then didn't pick it up until Path of Fire. And PAX had to basically beg me to come back, because I had so many bad memories of vanilla, I didn't even want to touch it again.
You don't look busy enough. Keep me informed.
To make sure no other Earthen gets harmed, we're going to have to eliminate their leader. You know the saying, rid yourself of the foreman and the whole line collapses. Yeah, I've heard that saying a lot.
Watch your step.
Which is the best vanilla? So the answer to that's actually Tor. Even pound per pound, with all the garbage in Tor, Tor's vanilla is still probably the best out there. Like, Tor's vanilla includes, you know, Sith Warrior, Sith Inquisitor, and Agent. And Corellia. After that, I don't know. I have never reviewed WoW Vanilla, and I hopefully never will. So I don't know how it would actually line up against FF14 ARR. I'll tell you this, I'd rather replay ARR than than WoW Classic, so I suppose that answers you. I'll admit that's kind of tough, I'm not going to lie, but I'd still probably swing that way.
Make it quick. We're busy.
You made it back. I was beginning to think all hope was destroyed. Alvagar filled me in on the issue. I'm just glad our people are safe. Small win, but a win.
Back to work.
Okay. Let's go ahead and push MSQ for a second.
The edicts are my guide.
The quarry is overrun with Fungarians. All the mining tunnels are collapsed, and we do not have time to clear them out and rebuild. However, I did spy a good amount of ore on the ground. It would be a start at repairing the corway, but I am needed here with Edelgon's people, my people. Will you gather the ore in my stead?
May the edicts, Outlander, you gather the ore. Edelgon, how can I help?
That's the first time you've asked that question. But you can start by helping the injured.
Interesting. Thank you, MPPY. Always appreciate you. Remember, you can pick 3 things, though. I only saw 2. I'll put that towards Patch Within. There you go. 303 negatives from Guild Wars 2. I stand by that, by the way. Pokemon Violet. So what's your third pick, MPPY?
The Unbound welcome all.
We stabilized most of the injured, but many of the Earthen you saved need more help. The Nerubians often fight with corrosive poison that eats away even at our stone bodies. Fungarian flesh has long been used for its medicinal powers. The Fungarian take over the quarry is one unexpected boon to our situation. One we will adapt to, as the Unbound always do. But I can't leave you bone aside. Will you help me?
Conversation terminated.
Sure, I'll go harvest some Fungarian flesh for you. Look, I'm just hungry, Evo. Hungry for Fungarian flesh. Fungarian chunks. I love their sound effects. They remind me of the dudes over in Cataclysm. Someone I know actually likes to play a fire mage. I bet they go through going. No, I have not, Uthor. Unlimited puppies. Wait, would that be a good thing? But then he's solving world hunger, Mr. Red. Look, I've got a solution for world hunger. You just have to be willing to eat a little bit more puppy. Who's with me? And I'm immediately deposed. I might have heard of a beefsteak mushroom. Hang on, let me actually Google that. Beefsteak mushroom. Come on, load. Well, I see why they call it that. But, well, I've seen it in fiction. I don't think I've ever seen one in real life. Why do you ask? So I was too busy eating these beefsteaks. Oh, he's planning something. Tell by his beady eyes. His beady mushroom eyes. Yeah, that's what Darth Mushroom looks like right there.
It is my oath-sworn duty to protect the corway.
Collect as much ore as you can. The corway is still my priority, but these injured need immediate help.
Fly high, strike true.
It is not much, but this ore should help stabilize the corway. With Edelgon's help, we will be able to reclaim the core and its mines and establish a supply line with Dornegal.
Conversation terminated.
Speak freely.
Please
and
hurry. The
honestly.
Nerubian poison will deal irreversible damage given enough time. If it erodes enough their frame or seeps into their memory gem, then we will not be able to save them.
Go where you will.
Last thing I expected today was to see Belgrim, much less receive his help, but I guess the corway was damaged. He has no choice. I do not know how to compute this. It is only logical to accept it. Edelgon begins crushing the Fungarian flesh into rough stone hands. It becomes a masticated pulp disturbingly quickly. Here, apply this to the injured.
Forge. This poultice can mend even our stone bodies.
I mean, it's a poultice.
Belgrim, your help is appreciated.
You were right. I have been remiss in fulfilling my edict. Now the corway lies in ruin. I need your help, Edelgon. Just like you needed mine.
And yeah, I caught that too, Uthor. Says something about this brand of Nerubians.
Speak freely. No direct...
Which we'll talk about in much more depth later. Get it? Depth.
I need Findorn and Tregor brought to the pool.
Come here. Yeah, I've done the vanilla quests already, Spark.
Good. Now for Ebona. She's fading.
My Stormrook can take her to Dornegal. Perhaps the healers there can help.
Belgrim, Thank you.
Everyone's like, yep, I got you, bar. Woo-hoo.
Greetings, Outlander.
Thank you. It's been a long time since I've received help from Outlanders. Or Oathsworn.
Heed the call.
It's the one immediately previous to this one, MPPY. Episode 199.
Well, I'm listening.
The Nerubians are attacking the Earthen again. We must follow that swarm. I fear we're outnumbered, but if the Earthen can come together, we may still have a chance.
May your hammer strike.
Take one of the rams, Baelgrim. It's no Stormrook, but it's faster than going on foot.
I have never ridden one.
Oh,
But how difficult can
that.
it... Whoa there!
I'll bring the Unbound to the corway. We'll meet you in Dornagal.
I don't remember if I did the turtle. I really don't. I remember looking at it, but I don't remember if we ever sat down and bothered. God damn it. Hang on. I'm just bail all over the place here. There he is. Okay, what do you need again? Dead Dornish pike. Yeah, I think I just didn't bother because I figured it was fishing, and I don't fish. I'm gonna go with no. I don't think I did that one. I'll probably do it as part of the meta at some point, because, you know, duh. 1 second.
Join us, and we can see how your skills are coming along.
I've heard good things about professions. Like I said, it's the first time I've been tempted since Legion to actually bother with a profession.
Excellent work. I can see that the two of you will soon
Terrible.
be formidable competitors.
God damn it, Valerian. Look, it wasn't that bad. You have to pity donate. Jeez. Everyone's like, oh, that was pathetic. Dare even call yourself a human being? I mean, I don't, but... Interesting. Hey, it's Xerix again! We just keep meeting the same jackass. Looks like recurring characters can be a good way to develop investment for the players. Also, I'm just gonna say it, Queensguard Xerix is better than Rajagath. Don't at me. Thank you, Valerian. Always appreciate. Let's see. So this is... Hey, Mr. Red, pick a game real quick. Just a third game. Quest, Monsters 3. 4. Victoria 3.
Damn bugs! They're attacking our injured!
Yeah.
You address the Queen Regent of the Dark Iron Clan.
Yeah, that's great. The wounded. The wounded. The Nerubians are kicking the Earthen when they're down. There, in the middle. Is that Xerix again? Deliria? Oh, mountain strength be with me. We've got to help them.
I dismiss you.
He's quaking with fury. These cursed Nerubians, attacking a triage site. So many wounded and defenseless, and it looks like you are putting up a fight. Yeah, by the way, this is a recovery spot
I must defend my people.
for us. For the survivors of Dalaran.
My daughter, okay. Let's go.
See? Obviously there's injured mages, Earthen here too, but this is set up in direct reaction to the fall of Dalaran. So naturally they're going to attack here. And yeah, they actually mentioned this earlier, so nice follow-through on that too. Mr. Red, pick a game. Do it. Do it or die. I don't care which. Okay, Shadowheart's Covenant. Terrible pick. I'll put it down. MPPY refused to pick a third thing earlier, so you just picked a third thing for them. Who are you? Oh, but of course, another Outlander. I am Windbrand, tamer of Cinderbreeze and creator of Cinder Brew. He squares himself up as if you should be impressed. I had brought barrels of Cinder Brew to help the injured. I thought drinking would ease their pain, but for most it caused more burning pain. I refuse to let my brew go to waste. Maybe it can be weaponized. The Nerubians are just bugs, after all. Organic and flammable.
Pick up that Cinder Brew keg. I have an idea.
Ha! I knew it would work. Let's light them up.
Yeah, it's burning alcohol. I want you to imagine for a moment. Your city has just been destroyed. You managed to be one of the lucky survivors. You're pulled from the wreckage. You're taken to, a place where you can recover, a field hospital. And they're like, here, drink this, it'll help. And they pour Cinder Brew down your throat. It's very Earthen. They were doing it completely in the spirit of cooperation and aiding. Yep, this is probably, statistically speaking, the first time they've ever weaponized Cinder Brew. And I want to stress, it's fire alcohol. It's actually elementally fire alcohol. It's a good question, Kraken-san. I'm not sure. Yeah, Chen storms out, shows up. Ho 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 ho! I heard you have a brew. Ah! That was pretty good. I think I'll try one more. Ah! Not bad. Needs more nutmeg, though. I mean, if you look at the graphic, it looks goopy. Like molten honey. Which makes sense, because that's literally what it is. Here, watch this. See what I mean? That bloop that comes out? Yeah, it's magma mead, though. I mean, it is, you know. Yeah, molten honey. Ah! Like I said. Yeah, it's napalm. It's napalm.
Hold on! Help is on the way! Find cover, quickly!
I need to give a plus to Anduin. Just one, though. Just one. So far, no, Savacom. So far, this is all old to me. And if everything goes according to plan, it will all be old to me. There is an asterisk there, but that's with delves. We'll see where that goes. Hello, Illyria.
I will crush you. I will crush all of you. Nerubians, rise!
Where is she? Where is Xalatath? She must suffer for what she has done.
The corway is severed. You will never reach the Harbinger.
So thank you for answering the question, because that means she's down. I know we could have presumed that, but that is nice confirmation. Thanks.
Do you require aid?
Baelgrim is covered head to toe in Nerubian ichor and blood.
May the Titans carve your path.
Yeah, I think he was mad. Is there just a bit of cinder brew? Yeah, there is, just on his weapon there.
Communication and... sorry. Hello?
Mountains fall on me. That was incredible. I think we've been drinking this stuff.
Let's commit our meeting to memory.
Yes, you have. You've been drinking napalm.
Are you here to chat or work?
I know the Nerubians are in league with Xalatath, and we have a fair idea why they attacked Dulce and Dalaran. They seem bent on destroying the Earthen, even kicking them when they're down, but... why? Is it because the corway is the key to destroying it with not enough? Maybe what we're doing here, repairing the corway, is just what they don't want us to do. We should go back to Donegal. Try to piece this together.
If you hear anything a note, let...
They're retreating. Your cinder brew makes for quite the weapon, Wenbrand.
Meet us at the Foundation Hall, champion. The fight against the Nerubians is far from over.
think we've done this quest. Hang on, what's this?
Are you here to see one of our plays? The show
We'll come back
must
to that.
go on.
Work cycle interrupted. Return if you wish to speak again. Resuming tending cycle.
Do a delve. Do a delve. No, I refuse. I hate delves. Ugh. Disgusting things. So, lost delivery? Hang on. Well, maybe not. I don't see it. We'll come back to that. Mead. Fresh mead.
Our forged paths intertwine.
That's the one we're not doing. Okay, okay. In that case. What's this one? Because that's the Earthen quest, if you're wondering. God, there's so many quests. What's funny, and I don't know if Huthor will agree with this, but to me, one of the more interesting things about the quest flow of these zones is that they are simultaneously the roller coaster and the flower design. Like, if you just follow the roller coaster, basically, if you just do the MSQ, it's like, and you do a tour of the zone. Cool. But if you do the side quests, every area you are taken to in the MSQ has not only quests in the nearby area, but branching quests, which then branch, which then branch. It's wild, actually. Like, you see how many quests we still have on that map? Yeah, we've basically finished the MSQ for this zone. We just have to do our wrap up here, which is going to lead us down. And no is the answer to your question, Yura. So let's go do some side stuff. For crimes impeding the edicts of Dornagal, the council has deemed a reward be yielded to any who slay the chitinous beast known as Sigdar. A sample of his armor is attached. If you're unable to damage it, you're urged to carry on your duties and leave this task for another. Interesting way to recruit people. Oh yeah, lots of good storytelling in the secondaries, which is continuing the trend of dragonflights. That's not a huge surprise. Right. Correct, Kraken-san. We have 3 of the buffs, I want to say. So 15%. I think I can just look. 20%. I apparently have 4 20s right now. Or 4 80s, excuse me. How was it at launch? I believe we hit 80 in the 3rd zone. Not at the end of it, like well through it. Let's just do these in order. You find a small yet heavy leather-bound package on the road with an attached label. Gundargar's Courier Express. Expedited. To Harvester Farney, Durgar's cabin. Open with care. Contains volatile elemental minerals. As I said, I can't do much for Shilhoof without Underclay. That's the substitute for the salve. Can't you do something with the earth elements that did this to him? How about the sleeping mountain giant in my pond? Yeah, just doing MSQ is not a huge amount of experience. Yeah, another honey dipper. Now, smoke the hive. You found it. Still can't believe the courier just lost my package. We've been waiting on this to help with Shalehoof's leg. Mixed with fire honey, this stuff should patch him up quick.
Welcome, Outlander.
Ramolets. Magnificent, aren't they? One of the finest elemental beasts on the isle. The bad news is, they're not immune to injury. Poor Shalehoof here was attacked by awakened elementals in Farney's Pond. The good news is we have all we need to tend him. Just need to mix up the clay you found with some fire honey and slap it on old Shalehoof's hawk. Ready?
Follow no directives but your own.
Yeah. You never answered my question about dealing with the mountain giant or his elemental friends. As I was starting to say, the earth elementals and the mountain giants aren't exactly friends. Besides, the giant's sleeping. Well, sleeping for now, anyways. It could wake up, though. Oh, bring that honey over the clay. Notice I'm taking damage from it. Sleeping or not, it seems those recent tremors have shaken up the pond. There's elementals all over my waterfall. Not exactly keen to just wait for the giant rock in the west of the waterfalls to wake up. I suppose waking him up on our terms might be a better solution instead of letting the elementals annoy him out of slumber.
Our forged paths entered.
How exactly do you propose we do that? Well, aren't you just a natural with the elements? You ever think about making a career out of it? I wonder what he says if you're a shaman. Say, you're not afraid of getting messy. Why don't you help us with Farney's problem?
May your choices return you here.
Before you go and wake a slumbering mountain giant, it's probably best we have an idea for how deeply asleep he is. Though if the Nerubians burrowing up didn't wake him up, I'm not sure well. Take these earth shards, plant him on the waterfalls. Once we got him set up, I'll get a reading on his health.
Let's commit our meeting to memory.
Slumbering mountain giant down there, by the way. And yeah, you're probably right, Krakenson. If you think about it, most of the music for the next 2 zones is pretty quiet and pretty chill. Yeah, for the longest time, I held up Warlords and BFA, of all expansions, as having the best music in WoW, but War With It is definitely trying to challenge that. Don't worry, I'm sure Undermine will kill that. Yeah, and then Zone 4 is like, hi, everything's awful all the time! Yeah, we'll get there. Just think, because of patch cycles, we'll probably get to Undermine just later this year. I gotta be real. While I 100% approve of FF14's patch cycles and how they do things, I don't know why I said that. I 100% approve of how FF14 is doing things. What WoW is doing is crazy. Like, anybody who knows anything about development cycles and project management, the rate of content creation that WoW is going through right now is legitimately bonkers. I really, really hope they're not overworking their workers. You know? I haven't seen anything about that. In fact, actually everything I've seen has shown that they're actually taking care of their people for once. But like, god damn, they're just cranking it right now. It would be terrible if they were to undermine themselves. Sorry, I had to say that one out loud. It probably, having that wall-to-wall union probably helps. And being out from under Bobby Kotick and his cronies probably helps too. Like, can I be real for a second? For quite a while there, a lot of people were saying, what's the point in getting rid of Bobby Kotick? He's just one rich asshole. Like, why? Why bother? Why care? We're just going to replace him with some other rich asshole, so there's no point in even doing it. Can I just say how gratifying it's been to be proven completely right in that getting rid of him has been universally good for the company and the people that work there and the people playing their games? No, he did so much to screw those companies over. And definitely plural on that. Yeah, no, exactly. What's the saying? The fish rots from the head? Dude was a monster. And he did a lot. That's why I say Kotick and his cronies, because, yeah. We've gotten plenty of reports after the fact of just what his cronies were up to during the creation and production of a lot of Blizzard stuff. And it's not good. And sorry, actually, I really should lump Activision under this as well, because everything that was going on with Call of Duty and I can't remember the other big one, was not great either. Hell, Valvedrix made that joke about Spyro earlier. Guess where that came from? Yeah, positive to real life. Get out. Oh, absolutely, Kraken-san. At least someone over there actually understands that, you know, a good product will return good returns instead of trying to do, you know, the mobile route, right? The STO route.
What path brought you here?
It probably is worth noting that WoW is quite literally doing better than it ever has right now. Financially. Purely financially. Like, I obviously think WoW's in the best space it's ever been in terms of the quality of the game. But what they care about is those numbers, and those numbers are doing really good right now. So...
Journey far.
And if you let the giant's pulse, the poor lad is wounded, I think. Wounded? Well, that calms my beast. Let's hope it passes quickly and quietly, right? Passes quickly? We haven't seen mountain giants in Eon. You wanted the first one we find to pass quickly?
Tell me what drives you.
Exactly, Kraken-san. I don't know if they've peaked their sub count high, because they don't always release information publicly on sub counts. We can reverse engineer a lot of that. Yeah, see, the problem is WoW's actual peak sub count is higher than is probably feasible to have for any MMO right now. I've talked about that phenomenon before. A lot of people who weren't MMO players jumped in, you know, pretty much specifically because of the fact that, oh, shiny. And they weren't game players, you know, video game players, and they weren't PC players, and they weren't WoW or MMO players, so they all just kind of pieced out once the peak dipped out. Like that's normal, right? Ooh, new thing. Okay, only the people who are actually interested stay, right? That's very normal swing. And yeah, their absolute peak was ludicrously high. I'm sorry, I was looking up really quick to see if we had anything on modern sub count numbers. Current best estimates from last year is 7.5 million, which obviously doesn't break their peak, but is really, really high. That was March of last year. That was before War Within went live. The reason I bring that up is because the top comment on that was a message. It was actually an interview from Bobby Kotick. You remember that terrible interview he gave? The top comment on that interview, I'm not going to say out loud, but it says F Bobby Kotick. And that's all it says. The mountain giant's heart. Oh my god, the mountain giant's got a weak heartbeat. The poor lad's been disturbed from a deep slumber with all these elementals breaking off from the falls. Fortunately, the pair of us are experts in healing elemental and elemental adjacent life forms, aren't we? If we salve can work on earthen and rock ramps, it can work on mountain giants.
Follow no directives but your own.
Remember when that clay and fire honey we used to patch up Shalehoof? Let's do that again, but bigger. Problem is, we're run out of clay, but fortunately, with all the recent seismic activity, a whole avalanche of elementals have been roused out of torpor and are clashing on the eastern beach. Bring me wet, elementally charged silt.
May all
Use as
paths
a
be
substrate.
open to you.
If Harmot wants to patch the sleeping boulder up and get him out of my pond, I'm all for it. Unfortunately, we used the last of my store of fire honey on the Shalehoof wound. I haven't had time to harvest any from Cinderwold with all the elementals running amok. Head on down to the Wold's Edge, get some honey. You're gonna need a lot. Quest objective, find a lot. Okay. Yeah, no, WoW broke into popular consciousness for a while there. People, like I said, people who don't play video games, people who don't play PC games, and people who don't play MMOs were aware of and were playing WoW. And then bounced out because, you know, they weren't gamers who played PC games, who played MMOs. Oh, 100%, Mr. Ed. Have you read that interview of his from about a month ago? It is so hilariously self-aggrandizing. It's kind of sad. Think about who, Mr. Ed? Sorry, I lost who we're talking about. Anyways, point being, ever since the rotten fish head has been removed, several companies and several gamings have done a whole lot better. Go figure. Yeah, if you want the summary, Huthor just summarized it perfectly. He was the only one keeping Blizzard afloat. It was an awful interview. You ever have one of those situations where you look at something and everything on it is complete lies, but the nature of the lies kind of convey some information? That's what that was. It is unironically a great interview because it is such an insight into that diseased mind. It's also funny, if I'm being blunt. I mean, you know how rich people are. Every single one of them. There's this proven metric that having too much money physically shrinks your dick. And so they have to make up for it with something, right? You know what? Hang on. While I'm doing this quest, I'm going to pull up a ProZD video to link. Because I think it's appropriate to this situation. I think this is it.
Alright, so with Warner Brothers...
Yeah, I believe this is it. You know what? That's fair, Yura. I apologize to anyone out there who might have a small dick. The relevant point here is that people who are rich think they have a small dick, whether they do or not, and therefore constantly do everything in their power to make up for the fact of this perceived deficiency, which itself is pathetic because they think that's actually a marker of quality as a human being. I highly recommend you go watch that video. I don't want to replay it. I don't want to steal his content, but it's great. It is exactly appropriate. Money! This will get you money. Don't eat the money. Here's your daily salary for even existing. Whatever he said. Money. It would depend on who they are and what they're hiring them for. Like, McDonald's hiring Bobby Kotick? I could see that. I wouldn't recommend it. He's probably not a very good worker. He probably doesn't know how to run a fryer, or how to build sandwiches, or how to run a register, or, like, how to wipe his own ass. But, you know, it would still be funny to watch. Only the very, very, very first season, Europe, back when it first started. But yes, I have seen Survivors. You know, that's a good way to put that, Kenix Cow. Yeah, he probably is not capable of taking orders. He's on several boards. All of them are. If you ever sit down and look at it, most people in that club, you know, the good old boys club, are actually in a lot of different boards simultaneously, because that makes absolutely no goddamn sense on any level. You haven't, Spartan. I'm so sorry. Do you need a hug? Because I'm not doing that. But I've got some plushies that can help you out. Money is extremely incestuous. It's why every now and again you gotta go through with, like, a knife. Look, you were talking about Full Metal Alchemist, and I just had to point out how horrifically nightmarish that whole series is. Also true, Valerian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have trouble. Most human beings have trouble putting into words how much money $155 million is. Like, we all talk about billionaires, which is just so much worse. 155 million. I want you to imagine, and I mean this, I want you to imagine you have just bought everything you've ever wanted, and you have $154 million left over, and you're just like, okay. Mind yourself in the forest. You found this off of what? A living honey... let's keep the mention of living fire honey between us. Karma might get distracted and run off into danger if we tell him.
Ah, a new experience.
Oh yeah, because they absolutely pay taxes, Ross. Oh yeah, this... I've actually seen this page. Yeah. Yeah, wealth shown to scale is a wonderful visualizer. It reminds me of the one that shows how large our solar system is. Pretty much the exact same format. By combining living sand and water, we create an elemental silt that mimics the underclay's healing properties, or at least something close to it. Isn't elemental fusion fascinating?
Our lives are our own.
Can you feel the energy in the silt between your fingers? The charge that hums through it? Isn't it exhilarating? Does it make you feel one with the earth and the mountains? He squeezes the silt in his thick, stony fingers.
Returning to task.
Oh, by the corway, this stuff packs a punch. Combining healing silt with molten fusion properties of fire honey has given us a salve that will wake a whole mountain giant. Which is exactly what you're about to do. Take the mixture over. Slap it on his hide. Okay.
Our lives are our own.
Tremor stones will maintain enough tension on the water to support you. Oh, thanks. You sure this is going to work? What if it wakes up and he's still hurt? In theory, it should work. This remedy works on Earthen and Ramla, so why not a mountain giant? Be curious. I don't know. I've seen your level design, Yura. I'm kidding. Her level design was actually really good. I'm going to play it on camera at some point. I don't know when. Post-WoW. It worked. It's awake. Hello. He's magnificent. Of course, an Earthen would, like, fangasm over a mountain giant.
Our forged paths intertwine.
Would you look at that? Thousands of years slumbering at the base of a waterfall. He wakes up without even a roar or a foot stomp. And Farney was worried. You did great with making that salve. Both Farney and I owe you a big thanks. Our friend looks thankful, too.
May your choices return you here.
Pain no more? Little stones help? Hey, hold your honeycomb. Mountain giants can talk? Of course they can. They're just like you and I. Yes, we helped. Fire and earth made the pain go away. The mountain giant rumbles as he looks between you and the Earthen. It was the horde runner who helped. Speaking of which, do you have a name, big fella? I forget. Sleeping long time. Oh, we know the feeling. Well, I'm Harmot. This is Farney. Harmy. Farmot. Close enough. So exciting. I've got a quarry full of questions to ask. Let's head up the path and chat. Harmot, don't you dare lead him to my farm. If he tramples Shalehoof or steps on my hut. Follow me. Farmot's got a nice spot up the hill. The mountain giant offers a slow nod of thanks towards you before following the Earthen up the hill. Well, we've adopted another one. I was actually about to ask the same question, Yura. Here's another question from an indie perspective. What was the budget of 30 XDX? Because that's a damn good Mega Man game, my opinion. And online, has online co-op. So, you know. That's sort of my point, Yura. Probably Huthor. He probably doesn't remember that we tried that once, a while ago. It really, really didn't work. Well, no, I've had a theory for a while that he knows he's old, and he knows he's dying, and so at this point, he's just trying to leave a legacy. He wants his name in the record books, and he's probably succeeded at that. I know quite a few people who are putting him up there with Andrew Jackson and Buchanan. And let me tell you, that's not company you want to keep. I know, Russ. Which just says a lot. Here you go, poor guy. Take some rest. The ground is shaking. 'Tis no good. Troubles are awakening the elements again. Stirs rot in the danger to us all. Bring them to heal and give its heart here. Only then can the earth begin to heal.
Follow all edicts.
I mean, there's a reason the jackass deliberately aped Reagan's slogan, right? Another terrible president. Let's do this one.
Speak freely.
This
No
is not as the
directive
basin should be.
needed.
We have much work to do. Hang on, which quest is this? Here we go. We of the Wold Guard uphold an ancient promise to Freya to tend to these lands. Our edict is older than those wielded by the demagogues in Dornegal. Older than Dornegal itself. However, not all lands have been tended equally. The leader of our order was to care for the basin nearby, but we've not heard from them in many cycles. I've sent a novice to investigate. Aid them, and my order will be in your favor. Oh, wow, Lord Harriman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah, Reagan won the Cold War. Huh? I'm sorry. I don't even know where to start with that. I apologize.
What path brought you here?
I understand. It's the same thing we have, right? Like, I couldn't tell you much about leaders of Germany or Russia or Britain or whatever. So, I get it. Yeah, no, what Valerian just said is extraordinarily true. And I'm going to lower my tone for a second to make this clear that this is not a goddamn joke. Pretty much every metric you could use to track quality of living, right? Whether it's GDP or average age by which you can purchase a house, or average life expectancy, general the wealth gap, like all the metrics you can think of have been measured. Obviously, because we have access to a lot of statistics, and they all get worse during Reagan. We have spent, quite literally, decades recovering from Reagan. Oh, the crack epidemic. Everything he did about AIDS, you remember that? Oh. Yeah, no, the Soviet Union had its own issues. I have found out extremely recently that apparently a lot of what was happening in the Soviet Union during its collapse could actually be specifically attributed to Gorbachev. That was admittedly news to me. I hadn't heard about that. Which, once again, is how I'm relating to you here, Lord Harriman. Apparently Gorbachev's internal policies were not very well received. As opposed to, you know, how he tends to be portrayed. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. The pronunciations are so weird. I can't do Russian. I'm sorry. My God, Bragwin. I don't want to say it was all Gorbachev. That history is not like that, right? And again, I'm trying really hard not to sound insulting because that's not the idea. But yeah, like for all intents and purposes, there were quite a few problems during the early 80s and leading throughout the 80s in the Soviet Union, and that was all just kind of tumbling. And insert glass shattering sound effect here, you know. Oh, California. You want to hear something funny, Valerian? My mother considers Reagan one of the best presidents we've ever had. And her specific reasoning is how good of a job he did as the governor of California. Like, the first fact is bad. Really bad. But then you pair it with the second fact, and there's just this moment of... Yeah. Anyways. There's this... Bleh.
Follow no directives but your own.
So... You probably didn't notice this, but that person has some mushrooms growing out of them. And some vines. Phaedron was the leader of my order. I was sent here to assist them. I was too late. There is a darkness that haunts these woods. These woods were Phaedron's home. It was her charge to tend to them, so given by the keeper herself, and now she's gone and the woods are amok. Bring me the spores of these Mahenic menaces. Maybe there's a way to cleanse this land yet.
Our lives are our own.
Now, for those of you who don't live in the States, you're probably asking, how could Reagan have been elected? Obviously, horrible people will vote for horrible things, that's whatever, but no, I'll tell you why. It's because he was an actor who was popular. There's a tendency in human psychology to literally or otherwise vote for something because we recognize it. As in, if you put... let me try to think of an example. Harper Administration. Yeah, he was an actor, but like, this is a weirdly common thing. If I shoved 5 games in front of you that are very, very good games that you have never heard of, and I don't know, I'm trying to think of a bad game that's well known. Like, not a terrible game, but just a bad... Breath of the Wild. Sorry, Ross. I did that on purpose. You know what? Skyrim is actually a much better example. Or League of Legends is another good example. So if I show you 5 games you've never heard of, and League of Legends or Skyrim, most people will pick the one they've heard of because it's the only one they have any data on. Reagan was very well known, very publicly received, and he had that actor thing going for him. Yeah, exactly. It is the same general principle behind most advertising. Make sure that you're aware of the product so people will be more likely to purchase it, whether it's good or bad. I agree with you, Yura. I have said for years that proper education is really the key. Proper informative is really the key to having any kind of elective decision-making thing work. So, Avenging Wrath. Which one's Avenging Wrath? That's just this, isn't it? Okay, so Avenging Wrath summons an additional sacred weapon during the event. I need to remember to use these stupid sacred weapons. Interesting. So, it's a great idea, Huthor. Not only do I know that Bobby Kotick knows how unpopular he is, he's complained about it. This is true. A lot of people forget this because this is a long time ago. Well, once upon a time, Bobby Kotick actually reached out to Google to try and remove certain images of him from Google search images, because this is true. He would go try to get dating, right? He would try dating, and you have to put a picture of yourself and your name, and so people would Google him to see who it is that they were dating, or who was they were trying to hook up to, and they would see a picture of him with the freaking devil horns, and he hated that. Thank you, Wolfmus, for the donations. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Hang on. Whoop, 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 whoop. Fight here. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa there, buddy. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Particularly the essay just says, "Hey, dear Lore, you suck. I hate you. Die in a fire. Sincerely, Bobby Kotick." No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I would never insult any of my viewers by calling them Bobby Kotick. Except Mr. Red, who's secretly a mass billionaire. Like, he's actually the richest person on Earth. Nobody knows it, but he is. Is that everything? Ah! These freaking mushrooms. These freaking explosive mushrooms. Yeah, that's why Mr. Red has forced me to play games like Kingsfield. It's like, alright, I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure that you play this game, or I'm gonna make sure every single one of your family members never works a day in their life again. Okay, hang on, let me actually pull this up so I can see what the donation comment was. What? Oh my god, look at my secondary objective. Oh, you just posted this, didn't you? Well, okay. I don't have time to watch that now, obviously, but thank you very much for the donation and the subs. I don't know if you happen to know this, but you can put that towards increasing interest in up to 3 future streams, if you would like to. If you don't, you can look at chat and say, "Chat, pick 3 things," and they'll like fight over each other like it was Hunger Games or Squid Games or Mr. Beast games. Speaking of horrible human beings. Seriously, don't ever look into Mr. Beast. That's that little personal advice from me to you. Just don't.
Ah, a new experience.
Fredrin must have had some way of fending off the Fungarians. Although there are a few left in the countryside who still follow the edicts, Fredrin was long a true believer. She would never have allowed these woods to reach the state while she held faith. We should look at her home in the woods. Maybe it's something that will prove useful.
Journey far and safe.
Is Miristar, are you going to actually pick something, or are you just going to kill Mr. Red over there? The Mr. Red Squid Games. That's it. That's it. Yeah, you know what? The nicest thing I could say about Mr. Beast is he is poverty exploitation. And that's all I'll say about that. See you around, Wolfmus. Have a good day at work. Or night, as the case may be. Yeah, what's up, Russ? Who, yeah. Everyone get together for who is the reddest squid? Ba, ba, da, ba. Okay, so as Mira Star picks Patch Within. Mr. Red picks Shadowheart's Covenant. Sigh. Because it's whitewashing it a bit, Trihexia. It's actually worse than that. Aw, this Earthen had a bunch of plushies. Aww. So, why are there still abandonment negatives? That's actually a fascinating question. One of the weirder comments I got several times was, how am I going to review WoW? Because I have to constantly adjust the score to add abandonment negatives after the fact. Which struck me as very strange, because those abandonment negatives are valid now. Yes, heroics are current now. I could actually queue, well, no, I can't on this character, but I could queue for heroics, and I could queue for mythics, and I could do raids. Now, we will actually be doing LFR to show off this raid once we get there. But, you know, fast forward 1 year, we're in Midnight, that stuff's abandoned. By all accounts and purposes, that stuff is abandoned content. It may technically be valid now, but in a year, it's going to fall right back into abandonment territory. So there's no reason to qualify it as anything else. Make sense? Yeah, if they actually fix this crap, then yeah, all of those negatives will be gotten rid of, or some of them, or whatever. I've actually gotten some notes on specifics, because they could do a lot of different things to fix the abandonment negatives, and not all of those will get rid of all of those negatives. But that's all in the future and purely hypothetical. Jack Block. Jack Block for the third one. 8 months. Final offering. I can wait no longer. We are abandoned. These woods will have to hold without me. Goodbye. She removes her memory gem and shuts down abruptly. Oh ho ho! Okay. Yikes. Like, imagine ripping your brain out, because that's kind of what she just did. I probably did, but I don't remember Xavion, if you mind clarifying. The stone banner would have once hung proudly outside the home as a pledge to the keepers and their edicts. Now it's a symbol of a broken memory and an empty promise. Oh yeah, speaking of good quest design, I know this is a minor thing, but navigable flow is important, even for something as extremely basic as loot the thing. If you're paying attention, it was here, then over here, and then down here to this one, and then over here. No backtracking, no needless walking around or pixel hunting or whatever. Each step is noticeably after the previous one, easy to see from where you are, and gives you a good idea of moving through there. It encourages you to see the whole room, because each step is going to be essentially guiding you to a new visibility of the room. I know it's a minor thing to comment on, but this is something I've been commenting on in Dragonflight and in War Within, that their quest design is just better, even on small little details like where exactly you put the quest interactables. That should do it. I felt no presence in that staff. Bring it here. Yeah, it's a shillelagh.
Welcome, Outlander.
Looking through the Wold Keeper's things unnerves me. So many untold stories.
Follow no
The
directive.
staff holds familiar magic. I'd hope to forget. Oh, Frigid, what happened here?
May your choices return you.
She ruminates briefly, her brow crinkling, her eyes aglow. After a moment, she turns to face you with a smile carved into her face. I've got it. The life energy in this staff should overcome the mycotic corruptions in the wildlife here. Then you return them to the natural cycle, and the land will heal on its own. Take any wards. If I find any wards, then take them down. Oh, and take her memory gem, just in case.
Let's commit our meeting to memory.
Okay, so scale non-current raids down to 5 man, so you can queue for while leveling and add them to time walking. I'm hesitating because I'm not sure if that would get rid of the abandonment negatives, because existing dungeons are scaled down to time walking and available during time walking, right? But as we decided after literal weeks of debate, that just doesn't qualify for getting rid of the abandonment negatives, right? Oh, sorry, I thought I said no, Mr. Red. No, I have it covered, don't worry about it. I forgot that it's not in the pile. I apologize for answering you in my head. Now read my brain! Read my brain! First offering. These wards will protect the boss while I undergo restoration. They're no replacement, but they'll hold for short periods. No, I think the two biggest things they could do to fix the raid abandonment. So, hang on, let me actually walk that sentence back a bit. I like your idea if they do something else as well, Xavion. So, for if example, they add either the roulette answer or the follower dungeon answer. Both of which are valid ways to remove abandonment negatives from dungeons. If they then go and do that for raids, like so they take Molten Core, smash it down to a 5-man, and then either you can queue for it as a roulette, or you can go do it as a follower dungeon. Yes. So in other words, if they do the first two steps, then you do your idea. I'm 100% on board with it. I mean, I've been arguing for scaling raids down to 3-mans since vanilla. That is actually an argument. It's not a joke. It's an argument I've had all the way back in vanilla. The tech didn't exist at the time, but it was still a hypothetical, and I still stood by it. I suppose stand by it would be a better way to phrase that. Honestly, I don't want to know what the score of WoW would be like. Yeah, it's exactly, Myra. If WoW actually really does go back and really fixes all the abandonment issues. Because, like, certain people have been complaining about how high WoW is scoring. That's with a giant anchor around its neck. Just saddling it, you know? Second offering. What would they say if they returned and saw me reliant on wards to fulfill my edicts? I just don't have it in me anymore. Soon. I did, Huthor, and I've been chewing on that for a while. I wanted to actually ask the crowd about that too. So Huthor, 2 days ago now, asked a question I've been chewing on off and on ever since. So if they just straight up removed the older content from the game, as in you literally physically cannot go do Heroic Deadmines, you cannot do Mythic Dawn of the Infinite. Those options are just done, ejected from the game. How do you think that would review? Like, do you think that would still qualify for abandonment? This is actually a trickier situation than it sounds like, too. Because, one way or another, we're establishing precedents there. Third offering. I have awakened Gladebark. Who will keep this place while I watch for their return. Fourth offering. Even Gladebark begins to rot. Is this to be our destiny? How long... No, you're right, Huthor. That's the reason we haven't given those negatives so far is because of practicality. Even though on paper it makes a lot of sense to give those negatives. For example, the original Ragefire Chasm is gone. It is functionally removed from the game. It has been replaced by the Kata version of Ragefire Chasm, right? FF14 has this exact same issue. In FF14, they did a massive overhaul of several dungeons, which is arguably a significant improvement to those dungeons. But the original dungeons are gone, right? And there's plenty of examples of this kind of thing. And so it's like, because, yeah, there's, it's kind of messy. It's kind of messy to cover. And it's one of the reasons I haven't given those particular negatives yet, is because most MMOs have done those kind of polishing passes to try and improve or, you know, upscale or otherwise replace older content with something a little bit better, which in the process has meant throwing the older content away. I mean, for the longest time, vanilla. All of vanilla was abandoned. The only reason all of vanilla doesn't get abandonment negatives is because of the asterisk of the fact that another game completely, which we are not reviewing, has access to that content. Right? It would be very easy to give WoW retail negatives for the absence of WoW vanilla, but you see, once again, how this gets a little bit, you know?
Tell me, what drives you?
One final thing I must ask you. There's a great monster that roams these woods. I'm certain you've sensed it. Yeah, I've already killed it, technically. Rotbark was Phradron's final means to control the basin, but even this was too great for any individual Earthen. Ours is not to control, but to tend to needs.
May all paths be open to you.
Now, in some cases, we have 100% given those negatives because it's so bad for, like, the experience going through it. For example, the fact that the Raytheon chain is gone from Warlords means a huge amount of main plot content is just completely missing from the game. That's not really debatable at that point, is it? That's content that's gone and makes current content worse. So it's kind of a double whammy there. I mean, the problem with the abandonment negatives is exactly as you say. Like, how do we gauge abandonment in a game that I've never played before, for example? I don't even know content has been abandoned in a game I've never played before. I'd have to rely on third-party information, such as you guys, which may or may not be reliable, and sites that may or may not exist.
Communication in... Oh, sorry. Hello?
Rotbark's demise will mark the ending of the basin's deterioration. Thank you. Your assistance has been most invaluable.
Returning to task. Goodbye.
As the lands heal, the Fungarians too will move on to their next journey. As you must. As must we all. Admittedly, this is my fault, and I'll own up to that. Because I wanted to review MMOs. And that was something I wanted. I mean, granted, you guys wanted this too. Remind me, you funded WoW without me ever putting a dime towards it. But MMOs are just kind of different than other games. The closest elsewise equivalent we have is something like Stellaris. Like, are we going to even consider abandonment negatives in Stellaris for the fact that other FTL methods don't exist in the game anymore? No, of course not. But you can see why it's kind of a question mark. And yeah, I think Maverick is correct. I stand by the abandonment negatives that we have given WoW. I do. Because there's the dungeons, there's the raids, there's the heroics, there's the mythics. That is meat content whose absence makes the game worse, in my opinion. But if we start stretching that to anything that technically has been removed one way or the other, now we're starting to get a little bit wobbly. For example, Vanilla Ragefire Chasm sucked. So having it gone from the game doesn't really make the game worse, even though, historically speaking, I would rather it still be in the game in some manner. like they did with Scarlet Monastery, to use an example. Oh no, it's absolutely something that needs to be debated. The review system is always kind of developing and growing. Even though there will never be another Oblivion line. Just saying. Oh yeah, Xavian's right. There used to be other talent systems. Talent systems that, once again, sucked. And that's getting a lot more into the esoteric at that point, the extreme, as you point out. Because, you know, the talent systems have been gotten rid of several times. We had vanilla talents, BC talents, Wrath talents, Kata talents. And then we have the new talent system in Tyre, which was in Pandaria, which was overhauled in Warlords, and then was overhauled again in Legion. Then mostly stayed the same for a while. Then all 7 of those were just flushed out the window in Dragonflight. So, do we count those? No, of course we don't. That's ridiculous. And that's the point, is I do think there is some PFR built into this. I think at the end of the day, I don't think we will give negatives for more esoteric things like that. It may adjust the review score. It may adjust how the game actually sits on paper. But I don't think we'll actually start giving a precedence for them just removing stuff from the game, because there's actually a lot of stuff removed from the game, regardless of the obvious things. That's how that works. And of course, if we really go into the no really distended nonsense land of debatability, we could say they've removed things like, say, the slower mount speed, or the slower hearth time, or the danger of fighting overworld mobs, etc. That could spiral pretty easily out of control. Kira White Noise does bring up a good point. There's a difference between something being removed outright and something being replaced. For example, oh god, Plains Running Tauren. You remember how buggy that was? Let's go back to Ragefire Chasm, for example. Ragefire Chasm is there. There is a new version of it. It is a better version of the dungeon. But regardless of the quality, they did actually replace Ragefire Chasm original with Ragefire Chasm Kata. They didn't completely eject it from the game. And that's important. By contrast, those dungeons, it's not really reasonable to go back and do older dungeons and go do older raids, because there's no real way to do that other than just soloing and face grinding your way through it. So that still qualifies as abandoned. It is content that is no longer capable of being accessed in a reasonable format. Talents have been replaced. This system exists. And honestly, this system did not exist in a vacuum. A huge number of these talents are based on things that came before. This is actually also the reason, if you remember, we didn't give a negative for abandonment of the Covenant abilities or of the artifact abilities, because even though those were abandoned, asterisk, they were carried forward into the talent system, right? So they were replaced. I mean, hell, I have an ability right here. Divine Toll. That's the Bastion Covenant ability for Paladins right there. And, yeah, sorry, I'm still kind of tired. I might take a slightly larger break just to take a nap. I'm fighting off something. So if they, I think what I would do, if they completely ejected Heroics and Mythics, I honestly think that I would add additional negatives for that. Because despite the way we're doing the review system, the fact is Heroics do exist still as a concept. Mythics still exist as a concept. And if I felt like it, I could go back and do them for, you know, cosmetics, or for achievements, or for just fun, right? You know, I do actually still want to go back and do several of those in the future. But if they completely ejected that from the game, that's worse, because as you say, it's just straight up removing it. Not replacing it with anything, but outright ejecting it from the game entirely, like Destiny 2 did. That's terrible. So, as weird as that sounds, I think that's my line on that in particular. Like, if I switch to my main right now, I could do Mythic Zeros, I could do Heroics, I could do Raids. Only reason I can't do it now is because I'm too low level to actually showcase this, I think. Yeah, right there, see? You must advance to a higher level. But it's there! If it's gone completely, that's awful. Now, you asked another interesting question. If they added vanilla RFC back into the game, would that improve anything? See you around, Pillagers. No, have fun, bye! Let me check something, because we actually have a bit of precedence on that, believe it or not. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a second. That's what I thought. I'm not sure that would actually qualify for positives or negatives, as strange as that would sound. No, it's fine, it's fine. I didn't want to play this amazing expansion anyways. Sigh. What's funny is we're actually a decent chunk through the first zone. War Within is actually pretty well paced. I've just been pausing and sick, and we've had maintenance issues, and I'm exhausted. Like, I just keep getting battered on this. Despite all the interruptions, we're almost done with the first zone.
Oh, I was just thinking. Keep your eyes open.
Oh, the Titan console here is a huge find. And look at these ruins. Has to be more here, but going after the site is dangerous. According to Brianth, now that the Titan Vault's been unearthed, elementals have come. Elementals don't like their order magic, and Titan relics just ooze the stuff. They're on a rampage. Can you go out there and get some relics back from the elementals? We need to preserve what we can.
On to adventure.
Directive?
I am pleased Dagran has brought you here. I need help with a dangerous task. I used Dagran's opals to repair the Titan console we recently recovered from this site. The Oathsworn have long wanted to learn more about the Titans and restore records unreachable in the archive or from before its construction. This console may hold answers if we can bring it online.
May the deeps continue to ring.
I can work on that. Whoops, I'm stupid. I think I'll save that for after we come back from the lunch break. Sorry, there's one other thing I keep meaning to chew on. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I suppose we could talk about it right now while I'm killing. So I've been debating how to review the warband stuff. So, obviously warband stuff is good and getting better over time. It's ultimately just a development of a concept that's been around since... Cataclysm, I want to say? You know, BOA, Bind on Account. Having the login screen is nice, of course, but we've already kind of covered that. Having everything a lock per account, I think we've already covered. Excuse me. I'm trying to think, what have they added specifically in War Within to the warband thing, other than just better labeling? If I mouse over certain stuff, like say that, it'll actually say Warbound on the tooltip. probably as Minister. There was the experience buff, that's true. I do wish that experience buff was optional, but I do like that it's there. Ooh, excuse me. So hang on, so we've got the login screens, the experience buff, the warbank, and the mobile warbank, that thing right there. The warbank distance inhibitor. Transferable currencies, that's a big one. And those have been getting bigger over time, which is really nice. And reps, that's another big one. So reps, currency, bank, I think are really the three super big things there. That's what I'm hearing. And those are good things, to be very clear. Let me jot that down and chew on that. So we've got bank, mobile bank, currencies, whoop, 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 whoop. Reps. Professions. Okay, so what do they do with professions? Because as I've said 1,000 times, I haven't touched a profession since Legion. So what's Warbound about professions? Ah, you can craft from the warbank. That is nice. I'm kind of with you, Maverick. Like, man, I wish this took longer to level. Really? But people have preferences, and preferences are preferences. I tend to be pretty pro options. And it always strikes me as a little bit weird when people are anti-options. A stance I've seen a lot of in my career. I mean, it isn't as Miristar, because that's just always been that way. Well, not always, but the ability to unlock transmog for this screen has existed ever since this screen has existed. And I'm pretty sure this is Warlords. Could be Legion. That's right next to each other, so... Either way, War Within doesn't get credit for that, nor do warbands, because, again, that's been around for a while. Now, was it Dragonflight or War Within that added the ability to gain stuff or other armor types? Yeah, that's one of my favorite arguments, Xavion. Listen, I can't possibly allow for this option to exist in this game because I don't have the self-control to not use it. No offense, but that really sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, you know? Maybe work on the self-control side of that a little bit, and we'll talk.
Speak your piece. I need some time to think.
Just look at these relics. Look at this history. And I think the elementals were just going to destroy it. I could cry. Yeah, I've done Dragonflight too.
Make sure to take notes.
Back to
Whoops. I need to... oh, okay. Well, let's just see what happens, I suppose. The console synthesized an object from its data logs. Do that? Yes, but the device appears dormant. We need another power source to determine the device's function. Excuse me, I need to siphon your energy out. Sargassum Guardian. Yep, Another kelp elemental here. Although, we haven't seen a lot of these, so never mind. I don't know why I said another. Ah. Right, buffs, Jesus Lord. It's a good model, yeah. I like it. It's an interesting aesthetic, too. Like the wicker aesthetic they came up with in BFA, which was also pretty cool. Yeah, no, I keep forgetting Grey Wolf. I keep forgetting they even exist. Is it Lurkin? Can you tell what it is? Allow us to look at it. Maybe we can ascertain its function.
I attend
now.
to the archive. Return if you have more queries.
There is a place behind Dornagal I cannot go, and I am not the only one. Something, a force, most likely Titan in origin, keeps the Earthen from investigating a small portion of the island behind the city. This, of course, fires my curiosity, but for thousands of years I have dutifully kept away. This site emits a faint signal like the ones from this device, but perhaps it is the key in a literal sense to what lies there. We shall see.
I will ensure your name is in the archive.
You know, not that I want to overwork the Blizzard art team, because Lord knows they've got enough on their plate, but I do kind of wish we had a few more transmog options for abilities and forms and buffs. Like, they could kind of dip their toes into that with glyphs, right? Yeah, it's close enough. But as Miristar just mentioned, a kelpelemental form for a shaman would be very cool.
Conversation initiated. Conversation terminated.
What? I mean, yeah, Uthor, but also, like, not just necessarily a full class skin. That would be a big deal and take a lot of time, work, and effort. But even just having more specific ability changes. You know.
I'd love to learn to make it.
God, I love this song, by the way. I was actually trying to put it into words exactly what this song sounds like. And I think some of you will get what I mean when I say this music right here sounds like Secret of Mana music.
Would you like a program? Come back soon. There's
Okay,
always
here we go.
something new to see.
So this is the other big event that I'm really fond of. The theater. I really like the theater. I don't even care. Don't at me. Don't at me, bruh. Gotta hide Mr. Red. Just gonna zoom in here. There we go. Okay. There's Mr. Red in his true form. Oh, the theater's great because, yeah, it's fun, but it's also interesting on a narrative axis. So what do we got this time? What is today?
Conversation initiated.
By today's, I mean this hour's.
Give your best performance.
Flash dance. Right? swear that's what it said. Unless it meant up here? Oh, jeez. Oh, dude, if they add more plays for other cultures' history, yes, please. That's there. Okay. Oh, there. God, I'm blind. There we go. We're good. We're good. This would be yet another way.
They want a spotlight. Make it clear they are not getting one.
Yet another way to help players get used to some of the lore that's, you know, either old or kind of hard to perceive nowadays. That's true, Lord Harriman, and that is a good example of what I'm talking about. I like the players. Yeah, you can retell events from Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, and earlier WoW, and just WoW history. I mean, the War of the Ancients is one of the bigger named events in the setting. How often have they actually sat down and explained what the War of the Ancients is? We are already at the green chest. Jesus. There's not that many people here, too. I've always thought the name was kind of dumb, as stupid as that sounds. The War of the Ancients? Nah, dude. It's the First Legion invasion.
The audience is looking for a show. Let's give it to them.
I need a raptor. Where's the raptor? Where's the raptor? Come here, little raptor. Mwah! I kiss you. I kiss raptor. Oh no, Nerubians are blocking the view. What do we do? Also, did you notice... So, once again, just like the Amir Drasil raid... Sorry. Event. Just like Super Bloom. The reason why theater succeeds so well is because of the specifics. Have you noticed I've just had this run buff the whole time? There's also some guys who show up periodically who just cheer you on. That guy right there. You click him, he gives you a decent chunk of audience approval, and he's just like, hey, you're awesome, and I like you.
Let our audience be louder than the show.
And almost every single one of these steps is something that's fun, interesting, and most importantly of all, quick. You're constantly bouncing between events here. I compare this to Super Bloom, but honestly, this is a little bit closer to something like the Time Rifts for Sora Dormi. Hello. That is valid, Kraken-san. Because, yeah, when we've only got, like, what, 15 people, maybe, doing this right now? Trust me, doing this with a lot more than 15 people can be a thing. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. It runs every hour on the hour. So even though there is an actual event calendar right there, telling you when it'll be and what it'll look like, you don't need that. Because you know, every hour, on the hour. Universal. Doesn't matter which time of day. Doesn't matter if it's morning, evening, or night. Is it at the hour mark? Okay, we're good. Let's get Poiple.
We have a big show prepared. Let's get the venue ready, shall we?
And yeah, Kraken-san's right. The fact that the Undermine showing is offset from the theater showing by design is also great design. You never have to pick Undermine event or Theater event. It's just, okay, every hour, every half hour. Now, I'm curious what they'll do with the third zone, assuming there's going to be a major event in the third zone. Still, I'm actually really looking forward to it, Maverick. As I've mentioned before, they've kind of been knocking it out of the park with these events. There's only one I don't enjoy, and that's Zarlex. Do it. We get into uniform. Why, yes, this is how I change in real life. Thank you for asking. Yeah, exactly, Luthor.
Lands beyond Khazalgar, call to me. I will build a sturdy ship and sail to meet them.
Yep, this is Wanderer's Isle. Or Wanderer's Tale, sorry. Not the one I was hoping for. There's a really good one about the Earthen Rebellion in this.
The storms and waves rage and beat me back. Will I never make it away from the Isle?
Two hours from now, huh?
Rises from the deep. I cannot let it damage the ship.
You like the waves, by the way? Look at the waves. Look at the waves. I find it fascinating, by the way, that Earthen enjoy theater despite being robots. I don't know how to explain it, but it's another one of those things that just makes perfect sense in my head. The moment I first saw it, I was like, of course they love theater. Dramatic reenactments of events. You'll notice none of these are fake. All of these are historical.
Beyond. But who are these strange creatures? Why are you attacking me? Oh no, I should never have left home. I must sail home. These outlanders are too dangerous. I see the wisdom in our directives. They were protecting us from the outlanders. I will follow a different path.
Would you like a program?
What do we get? What do we get? Lots of crystals, lots of gold. I'll take it. And yeah, you notice how the overall theme, the Aesop there was, don't leave the island, outlanders are bad. Yeah. There's a reason that these people have stayed on this island and not left for 5 millennia or whatever it is at this point. Oh yeah, that's the final thing. Just like Super Blooms, those are rewarding. I hate to keep hammering that point in, but it is important to make sure that this kind of stuff is rewarding. Some players will do it for fun, like me. But a lot of players need some kind of incentive, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's worth noting. If you want some purpose behind doing it. Brinth, are you okay? Brinth?
I speak for the machines.
I cannot describe what this place feels like to me. It is oppressive. I cannot think. The urge to turn back is strong.
Task resumed.
Long ago, there were once plans to build a tunnel through the mountain into Dornegal. Before excavation could begin, the surrounding area was suddenly abandoned. There is no record of what happened, only a deterrence, a field that keeps Earthen away from the region. Every part of my cognitive matrix is pressing for me to leave, but we must persist. The device's signal indicates something lies within the nearby tower.
Conversation terminated.
Okay, I'll go deal with this stupid thing. Surrounding weapon cache and supplies are covered in thick cobwebs and dust. There are gaps where weapons are missing. Despite this, it appears no one has been here in a very long time. I think I got the device working. Hey. Hang on a sec. Watcher Galen has grown paranoid. She asks us what became of Watcher Dornek. We have claimed ignorance, but she has been interrogating our kin and then collecting their memory gems. She will stumble upon one of us sooner or later, or worse, find our armaments cache. We must make a move tonight. Oof. Activate the device. I think it's reacting to whatever's affecting Brinth. Dornik earned his fate. Both defy directives, misuse memory gems, lapse in judgment. You will be repurposed. Watch over no more. Safeguard my... By the way, did you notice the holograms of the corpses of the Earthen Resistance?
I want to see everything.
I'm not sure what's affecting Brinth, but yeah, she's in pain. I offered to escort her back to the city, but she refused. I'll stay with her and make sure she does nae take a turn for the worst and try to figure out this device some more.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Get what you saw in the tower. Did you see that? Looked like Titan Watchers, but what does all mean? And who were they?
Keep your eyes open.
Dornik and Galen. I've heard those names at the proscenium. But who was speaking? They were nae happy with Galen. All those earthen bodies. Repurposed, like reprogramming. To protect what? Let's chase the other signal. Looks like it's up in the hills. I'm gonna stay with Brinth. Investigate further. You'll take the device.
Make sure to take notes.
The voice seems to indicate perhaps something else is here. Didn't you say there's another signal? Should track it. Affirmative, but I would exercise caution. There could be unknown dangers locked away here. It's okay. I've been to the Shadowlands. Yeah, whatever. Sure, you've been to the afterlife. Vault breach. Structural security. Failure. Collapse protocol. Active. Must protect, the must protect, must protect, must protect. Yeah, you thought you've seen broken robots before in this setting. No. This is the Broken Robots expansion. Well, at least the first zone is. Pain is gone. I can think clearly.
Give me something to figure out.
You sold another memory. It attacked you. That's awesome. I mean, I'm glad you're okay. Well, you're tracing the signal. I found more notes and put them together for you to read. It's about Dornik and Galen. Looks like we know where Galen ended up, at least without them. Buried under tons of rock. What was she guarding? It was so important she was repurposed to safeguard it for thousands of years. Ah! More questions than answers. I didn't like it.
I need some time to think.
There's so many questions, now more than answers. Yes, but at least now we know what questions to ask. Who? Was that voice a keeper? Was Galen reprogrammed to protect? I have questions as well, but I'm sure we'll learn the answers in time. The first few pages seem to be notes for cataloging different cuts of stone from a quarry to be used to continue constructing Site 0. You recognize sketches of some of the larger stones as those used as keystones in the Arches of Dornegal. Then suddenly the ledger changes. I feel compelled to write. I am making a note to dispose of this later. There's something inside me calling me. Perhaps it's the Titans? Is the voice mournful? I feel perhaps anger? Is this sadness? But only the Keepers, the Watchers, and the Titans feel such things. No, it is something else. I will devote some processing to it. I have discovered what I feel. It is unease. The emotion is directed at the Watchers, Dornick and Galen. They have their reasons, I'm sure, for deactivating many of us at their discretion, but my programming, or something else, tells me something is not right. I should speak with those in my sector group. Someone who has discretion. There is an almost perfect black and white rendering of an eye of a topaz butterfly. I did not know so many of us felt the same about Dornick and Galen. When our keeper brought them to us, we rejoiced and proposed to name the fortress we were building in their honor. Dornegal, by the way. But now many of us are in agreement. Our blessed keepers may not soon return. We must do something about Dornick. We cannot afford to lose more of us to his rages. Galen we will spare. She is cold and apathetic, but has done no real harm. The next page is an itemized list of stockpiled weapons, armor, and earthen names. It was a formidable army, and the armory you've discovered does not seem to contain all their weapons. We are ready. At the beginning of second shift cycle, we'll march to Keeper's Villa outside Site 0. Hopefully Dornick will be resting there. After taking many losses, Watcher Dornick has been deactivated. All of us had to return to our tasks by the end of the prime shift. Watcher Galen has not yet noticed Dornick's absence. There's some half-hearted stone sketches on this page. The sketcher's hand is unusually unsteady. Watcher Galen has asked us what has become of Watcher Dornick. We have claimed ignorance, but she has begun interrogating different Earthen, and then deactivating them. She will stumble upon one of us soon. We make a move. Tonight. The rest of the pages are blank.
Work cycle interrupted. We are the Titan's bedrock and foundation.
Just replaced a 279 thing. Good lord. Yeah.
The corway must be protected.
Enough. Peacekeepers do not gallivant across the countryside. Now take care of this Arathi troublemaker. One second, please. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this quest is. Hang on. Because this doesn't look right. I don't think I've done this quest. Yeah, I actually haven't done this quest.
The Titans will return.
We'll let that sit for a bit. That's what I was pretty sure. So that just leaves those two and that one. It's only a little spoiler. We'll just save it. I've got the turn in, so I'll have a marker for it so I won't forget it. So that's that, which we're not going to do. That's that, which we're not going to do. I think I will heed my own advice and take a slightly larger than usual lunch so I can get some rest in. I don't want to be doing them tired. So, we'll pause here, and we'll finish up the rest of the Isle of Dorn when we come back.